Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And per usual, before we get into it, I just want to make sure you guys are heading on over to 3072 El Cajon Boulevard. That's right. That is the Caffeine and Green brick and mortar shop here in San Diego, more specifically the neighborhood of North Park. So guys, come on through. You can get any of the coffees that you see online or you see on the Instagram. Of course, I'm talking about the Issa Blend, the Bendiciones, the single origin Huevo Tenango. I'm talking about the Notorious, which is a single origin black honey processed natural, and the new El Cajon Boulevard coffee, which is a single origin Ethiopia matcha. All the coffees are available inside the shop. You can also get any merch. You can get any, mugs. And then also, if you wanted to come through, I'll make you any type of coffee. You can get batch brew, full latte, full bar. You can come kick it, hang out in the podcast studio where I'm recording this right now. Yeah, just come on through 3072 El Cajon Boulevard, Caffeine and Green. Or if you want to get it online, go to caffeineandgreenroasting.com today. All right, so this podcast is a little different. It's very interesting. I had a full panel today. I had Amanda, a.k.a. comedian Lucey Love. I also had my boy Ray Ray. He returned to the podcast. It's been a minute since Ray Ray's been on the show. And, of course, I had my boy Demetrius Collins, and we call him Derm. That's right. And Derm, you guys are all very familiar with if you've listened to the podcast for a while. But we had a very interesting topic about dating in San Diego. And just in general, like, dealing with Hinge, and then, Derm would definitely, is better in person. So he dates a lot of people without the apps. And then also, the whole reason this kind of came to fruition is because of, like, dating in general on the apps in San Diego, North Park specifically. And then also, comedian Lucey Love is going to be doing in January a 30 dates in 30 days with 30 guys. It's going to be pretty interesting, and she's going to have it on Instagram. It's going to be a little TV show, so I wanted to have her on because we were already talking about this. So what better way than to just kind of talk about some of our best experiences, our worst experiences, what we all like, what we don't like, why we're going to X you immediately, or, give you a chance. So without further ado, Lucey Love, Ray Ray, and Derm. This is your time to shine, homies. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Caffeine and Green. And we're live. Where's my...
I want to see you two kiss later.
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
I want to watch.
Why do you say that?
I mean...
Because... What do you mean, why do I say that?
Now it sounds like a good
I'm
time.
pervert?
Like, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is not good.
Oh. You should have grabbed this one. This one's fire.
You took the last one.
Oh. I can
All
share.
right. Wait, before I get into it, so everybody knows we got Ray Ray on the mic over there. Ray Ray, say what up.
Yo, what it do?
You've been on the podcast. Derm, I got my man Demetrius Collins here.
How you guys doing?
And comedian Lucey Love has returned to the podcast.
I have.
Yes. Welcome back. And today, guys, it is a little bit different of a podcast. It's not going to be too serious. It's definitely going to be more of like...
Are any of them serious?
I mean, they're kind of serious. Last week I talked about blood diamonds from Russia. I got educated. I learned Punjabi was a state in India. I didn't know that. That was cool. And it's a language. So I was educated.
Yeah.
It was. It was an educational podcast. But this week, we're flipping the script. And it's like, I just want to get into it before we get like too far down the rabbit hole. But basically, this whole podcast came up because of dating. And I was talking to my roommate, Ray Ray, who you guys are all very familiar with.
Are
He's
you
on.
Ray Ray?
He's Ray Ray. He's the Ray Ray drink.
Oh.
Yeah. The infamous. But Ray Ray, I'm just going to bear all truths here. He's quite the man whore. And
Wow.
so
subtle, Kano.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
subtle.
you. So basically, I wanted to, talk about some of the stories and some of the dating trials and tribulations of what it's like to date in the city of San Diego.
Especially in your 30s.
In your 30s, yes.
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s. Is everybody here Are you?
I'm 33.
33?
Oh, perfect.
Well,
We're
she's
all on
like,
the same page.
I'm
Yeah,
36.
Yeah.
35.
35? 35?
35.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're all within relative age.
This
And
is sad.
I thought it'd be a lot of fun. And then it also came to fruition when Lucey Love came into the podcast, or came into the shop the other day. And she, on her story, was posting about doing a dating show on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 30 guys, or 30 dates.
30 dates in 30 days.
Yes, 30 dates in 30 days. And I was like, yes, I want to have a dating podcast. You should come on. And I did try to get another girl here, but
I can represent.
she's holding it down against amongst the men. So she's going to be able to stand tough with us. But, tell us, we'll just have you start, Lucey. But tell me about what brought this on. Because when you were on the show last time, we did talk about Hinge. And how one of my favorite things that I remember is how you're like, yeah, within like a couple minutes I can tell like I'm not into this guy, and then you end up becoming friends with them, and you're gonna like wingman them to get them. Yeah. So tell me.
I do that a lot.
A lot.
Well, I mean, not a lot because I don't go like on a ton of dates, but like if I know I don't like a guy sexually, like there's no like sexual chemistry there, but I like them as a person. It's like I feel almost like a duty to be like, well, let me get you laid, dude. This sucks. Like, I'm not going to give it to you, but we should get someone to give. You're a good-looking guy. You're nice. Someone should put out to you. So then I just like to –
we need more women like you in the world.
Yeah.
I feel like there are a lot of women out there like that.
No.
Well,
I would have to second that.
Maybe not. I mean, it is kind of weird. So let me just – the reason why I posted about the dating series is because a lot of my girlfriends do think I'm weird. And I typically will match fairly attractive men, more so like their type than my type. And they're really confused by it. Like, they're like, why don't you like date? And I'm like, I just don't want it. Like, they're too tall, or like, I don't like how they laugh, or they just seem too comfortable in my house when they came over one time. Like there's just, I get the ick really, really quickly, really easily. I don't like if a guy wears thong sandals. Like, I don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't wear
ever?
sandals.
Like,
ever.
even at the beach. Like, put some slides on, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually
agree.
feel that.
I'm
Yeah.
right
What?
there, yeah.
For
Like,
real?
why do you have thong sandals? They just grow.
The flip flop thing
Yeah.
between your toes, that vibes me out, and the floppiness, it's just so weird.
Yeah. I don't even really like them on
It's
women,
like the
but
bare minimum.
yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's something.
And then if
I
they
get
pair
that.
them with like denim, fucking get out of here.
I have heard you say that before.
Bro, get outta
If you're
here.
wearing
Something about
like
the flip flops are really off putting, just in general, especially on a man. Like, girls, whatever.
Just go barefoot if you're at the beach.
Well, have
Yeah, or like slides.
Dude, have you
like
Slides, yeah.
Have
Slide.
you walked on that sand when it's super hot? Like, yo, that's
Just bury your feet into the sand, bro.
I feel like slides are
That's the
are
move.
fair. Like, they're reasonable, and they're more comfortable. They're typically cheaper. They're trendier. Like, there's so much more. Why wouldn't you just put a slide on?
I wish
It's a
I
lot
was
more
wearing
appealing to
slippers
the
right
eye
now.
as well.
Even like the Crocs, you can do a Croc.
Oh hell no! Are you saying
You would rather have a thong sandal on. Well,
They're the only sandals I have. I have one pair,
Oh.
and those are the ones.
I want to leave.
I have Crocs in
I need
my
to
house.
Have you seen Connor dress himself though?
Dude, I look steezy as fuck right now.
He's colorblind.
Nas and
Go
shit.
easy.
I only know what the fuck. Well, my friends do think it's odd that I'm not like actively dating, or that I'm not letting these men pursue me, or I'm not interested in these men. And I was like, maybe I am the problem. Like, the only common denominator in all these dates is me. So I was like, okay, let me, like, at first it was just like a joke. I'm like, all right, guys, I'll go on, a week full of dates. And then if I don't find anyone, can you leave me alone? And they're like, yeah. And then I was like, I'm going to do 30 days and 30 days with Lucey Love. And they're like, why don't you actually do that? And I'm like, no,
Yes.
not at all. And then after like brainstorming a little bit, and I was like, I mean, it's going to be full of content. There's got to be jokes in there somewhere. So
Oh yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll do it. But realistically speaking, the holidays are coming up. I'm not trying to get anyone like super attached. So I'm not going to do it like during boo season.
Cuffing season.
Yeah.
Very
That's-
thoughtful.
Cuffing season feels weird. Yeah, like I don't want to be like, I don't want a boyfriend.
Hey, my aunt and grandma are in town. Come eat dinner with us.
Yeah.
You're like, I just met
Or
them."
like trying to like figure it out around the holidays and then like pushing it into another month. So I think I'm just going to like wait until January and start it on the 2nd. So there's no holidays in there. I mean, MLK Day, but whatever.
But what?
Wait, that's in February. But wait, isn't
I mean, like, you can still hang out on that
softly.
holiday.
Sorry, I'm black. You can't see it.
You can still hang out on that holiday
Thanks.
without it being like meet my parents, you know?
So, what about, for me, my question then is, what, like, you said you're going to be making applications, or accepting applications.
Not necessarily applications, but like, hey, if you want to be a part of this, it's a logistical nightmare. I'm going to have to tell guys like, hey, thanks for trying. In a month, are you down to go on a date on the 29th of January? And that's going to be like in the beginning of December. And I have to be like, are you going to be comfortable with me talking about it? I'm also a comedian. You know, how comfortable are you? What do you want me showing and not showing? Like, I want to be respectful of people's like time and vulnerability.
Do you take
you know?
walk-ins?
Well, that's what I'm still like brainstorming stuff. Like, it is still very like, I had a lot of dudes hit me up in my DMs like, put me on the list. And I'm like, no.
What?
But,
Dude, what?
Well, no, like, I mean.
Do you know how hard it is going to, I mean, like, honestly, okay, wait, question. When you go on Hinge, do you like automatically from a girl's perspective get just like bombarded by DM, like dudes liking your stuff? So like when you open it up in the morning, there's like 100 fucking likes.
Yeah.
Really?
Like the first day, the first day I made
I mean,
mine.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, but I mean, but in all fairness, and again, I try to be reasonable. Like, I really look at the profiles. Like, I don't just go based off looks. Like, I look at the profile. I am like very like, what is this? Who am I interested in? Do I like them? If they're attractive, like, does their personality like also contribute to what I'm going to be going on a date with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, they're typically like the first time you make it, you get a lot of matches. So I'll be honest with you guys. I made one more recently. I woke up with 152 matches.
Jesus.
Out of those 152 matches, I liked 8.
Now, by liking them, that means you match with them, right?
Yeah, like I match with them.
Yeah, but you don't need to ever go and like a dude's thing.
Think about this though. Like, I'll sit on the app and I'll see 182 girls and like 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
same. Yeah.
I feel that. That's
Yeah.
not that
But
bad.
it is like, I know a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm just looking for 6 foot. If they're not, no. I'm like, no, like I look at the profile. I listen to the voice messages. I'm like, I try to get a peek at your hands. Like, hands are a big deal to me. Voice is a big deal. I could think you're fine as hell, perfect personality. If I push that voice note and I don't like your voice, no. Voice is like a big thing. Voice, hands, and that's about it. Like, if you have those, you're probably in like a step above.
Do you have a
lot of
voice?
guys.
Do you have hands? It's gonna happen.
It's good.
My simple pleasures.
Wow.
That is what I put. I'll be like,
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
a nice voice and nice hands. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So when you're gonna, so does that mean every single guy in the 30 days of the 30 days that you're gonna go, does every one of them has to have nice hands, or are you gonna pick
No.
some
So what
uggos?
I'm gonna like hope. Don't say uggos.
I'm just
What I'm
saying.
hoping to do, or what I'm like wanting to do, is like just really put myself out there. So it's like, I don't really want to, it's going to be more of like a blind thing. Like, I don't necessarily want to know what they look like. I just want to go based off like personality and like what they have to offer. They can like submit like, you know, I have dark hair, whatever. Like, I have my preferences.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm pretty open to whatever. And then especially with this dating thing, like, I want to be very open. Like, I really want to go based off like, am I interested in you and your personality? And then like, if you, like, out of the people that I am, then maybe being like, hey, can you submit a picture? And then like, out of those people, and mostly the submission of the picture is like just to make sure you're not crazy. Like, you could tell like when someone has like crazy eyes and like you're possibly gonna get murdered.
Whoa.
There's like a certain look
Huh.
that you're trying to avoid.
Okay. Well, that's understandable.
But like, I'm open to like pretty much everything. If I'm being honest, like, I don't really like anyone over like 6 foot's pushing it. I prefer them to be like 5'8" to 5'10". I like a nice voice, nice hands. I prefer them to be like brown. I don't like pink penises. If they're uncircumcised, even better. Like, I'm very weird as a woman when it comes to this type of stuff. I don't think I'm the proper representation.
I think this is fine. I think it's totally fine. I think everybody would have their own preferences for sure. Like, I'm the same way. I don't really, when I'm in my profiles, I don't, like, I go into the settings of what you prefer, and I only check like Pacific Islander and like Latinas.
Everything but white.
Pretty much. No, not even that. I won't do like Middle Eastern. I won't do like South Asian, like Southeast. There's like a setting that says like Southeast
Right.
Asian on it.
Yeah.
I don't do that one either. Yeah, it's pretty much just like, Polynesian.
Because you feel like you find you get along with them better, or like just culturally you're too different, or what would be your reasoning?
I've never, in all like the years that I've dated girls or had girlfriends, I've only had one white girlfriend. Or no, I take that back. I've had 2. But like everybody else was either Filipino, Polynesian or Mexican. So it or like
So
some
you're just
sort of
sticking
Latin.
to what you know.
No, it's just because of what I like. I mean, like when I first started dating, after I got divorced, I was like, dang, I'd never like been with a black girl. So I started dating black girls, and then I did that for a little bit, and I was like, okay, cool, like I'm good. I wasn't really into it, and then just personal preference. I was like, okay, cool, and then I met like some Latin girls that were cool. I met like a couple Asian girls that were dope, like this Vietnamese girl. She was like this influencer. She was kind of cray a little bit, but I was over that, and then I was like, whatever, like. I don't know. I like that. I don't particularly want to date white girls. Like, if you're half, that's fine. Like, you have to be mixed with something. But like my ex-wife was like full-blood Filipino, like first generation. It was dope. And then I met my ex-girlfriend from Tijuana, and like to your point, like she told me she made her app, and then she said the next morning she woke up, she had like about 100 or a little over 100. And she said that of all the guys that she saw, she was scrolling, and she saw me, and she's like, oh, I like him. Looked at it, and she said my response. She says she told me that of everybody that responded to her, I was the only one who responded to the prompt. It was like, what did it say? It said something like, proving that you're humble.
Oh, right.
Or like proving that you're smarter in the most humble way. And I responded to her, I was like, how does one prove that you're smarter in a humbler way? And she's like, well, I don't remember what she said, but the conversation was literally like...
flowing.
Yeah, like, you're good. And she was like, hey, and she just hit me up right away, and she was like, hey, we should meet. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And so we met, and then, like, we ended up going out for, like, 3 or 4 months, something like that. But it was like, that was the thing. But she told me, she was like... you were the only one out of all those guys who actually had like a adequate response or like an intellectual response, because everybody else was like, oh my god, you're so fucking hot, or like
just gay,
some shit like that. And it's like, oh,
so
okay.
that doesn't work, right?
It can.
Oh.
I mean, I like it
Depending on the guy.
sometimes, depending on the guy.
Yeah.
Like, if I could tell your personality from your profile and you're just, like, telling me I'm hot, that's cool. But, like, if we go on a date and you're still only telling me I'm hot, I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
like, this is so boring.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you guys. So I am not on Hinge anymore currently, but I do get on Hinge, like, once in a while. And I do 2 things on my profile. You guys might do it, too. One, I always put, like, a little bit of a thirst trap because it helps me weed out the creeps. Because if you're, like, way too aggressive about like a picture of me in a bathing suit, I'm like, I'm good, dude.
I have a tactic
no
for
thanks.
this.
But then also I will put a picture of like me doing stand-up comedy. And I've had a lot of dudes, my friends, my family, even the comedians tell me like, don't put that picture on there. It's really like off-putting and really intimidating. But I'm like, I don't want to talk to a dude who's not okay or doesn't like me doing stand-up comedy. Like, it's not going to work out anyways.
I'll answer this really quick. If I were to see that on anyone's profile, I would lean towards the stand-up comedy photo. I would probably like the comedy photo.
Yep.
That's
way
what I
over.
think.
The bathing suit thirst traps are just too easy, and like maybe if I was like 21, I would like that first, be like, oh my god, you're hot. But
well,
like,
liking it's okay, but like,
I would be way more interested in like. I'd be like, whoa, you wear a bathing suit? Cool. You're a stand-up comedian? That's amazing. Like, I would be way more interested in talking.
Even better. More to talk about, right?
So that's just interesting in general, just like me sitting across the table from you talking about that. I'm way more interested in that than seeing you in a bikini, although, like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing you in a bikini.
Follow me
but
on Lucey Love Comedy.
I think it's way more interesting and a way more focal point and something that's, like, you can cling on to and that makes you cool and interesting as opposed to, like, some other girl that just looks good.
It's a conversation driver, though.
Exactly.
That's what it feels. That's why I put it on there, because I'm like, oh, look, I do this thing, and maybe it'll spark interest, or you can even, like maybe you're not into stand-up comedy, but you could be like, that's cool or whatever.
I think you're hotter that because of that.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, because every fucking chick can wear like some thirst trap.
Yeah.
But if you have, and but we talked about this last time on the podcast. I saw your profile.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and it was the Comedy Store one, right?
Yeah.
That was a photo. Dude, I saw that and I was like, if I knew nothing else about you, I don't even have to think, like, I could go through all your photos, be like, she's okay. But, like, then I see that photo, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's so much sicker.
I
like,
could see a million girls look a million ways in a bikini or standing under the Eiffel Tower at some fucking place in
wearing
Europe
some
or something.
stupid fucking straight hat.
That's all you see. And, like, no one wants to see that. Like, no one cares. They can see that everywhere. But, like, you doing what you actually do, and like it's funny, obviously it's cool and interactive with people, that's way more cool. Like that's something that would be something I would like and be like, I would comment on that right away.
So then why do you guys think guys would tell me, or some guys aren't drawn to it? Like, what do you guys think?
Because
Like,
they're
as men,
insecure.
Because they're douchebags.
They don't know how to handle, because they're like, oh, because some dudes don't like.
They want to be alpha.
Yeah, they
That's what
don't-
it is.
oh god,
They don't want to
Yeah.
be in some shadow or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
you know, like, or what they think, like, or maybe they're just gonna be embarrassed that they're gonna tell some. Maybe that you did something, like you had sex with them and they didn't have something, or maybe they didn't last, or like came
yeah,
quick.
I wouldn't do that though.
But they don't know that.
I hope not.
Yeah, I would.
some alpha
I would ask
complex.
for permission if I did.
It's an alpha complex for sure.
It's an alpha complex. Those guys that act like that.
That's just so weird. Well, I mean, and ultimately that's what I'm trying to weed out. So it's not a huge deal. But I wanted to see what your guys' opinion was on that. Or like, what is something that is like, just like, no, like you're just like, no, I'm not interested in this profile. Like,
Dude,
I
if
just-
you wear a fucking like basic bitch, like stupid straight brimmed hat that like every chick that like, I'm not gonna say the race or color, but like I think you guys know, like just they have all the straight hat
You're
and
talking
it's like
about white
pumpkin
girls.
spice
Just want you to
latte,
know.
winter season.
White girls for sure.
Bro,
Listen. For
stop
me,
it. Automatic X.
For me, the
Automatic.
hat doesn't matter because that could be a one-off, right?
No.
That could have been just a one-off occasion where they were just enjoying the experience, right? But for me, it's always lifestyle-driven, right? Like if I see something on a profile where I'm like, we're just not on the same page. It doesn't matter how physically attractive you seem, or maybe even some of the information on your profile where I'm like, oh, that's a mutual interest. If I'm going through and really the theme across your profile is that we have just varied lifestyles, that's already a no for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that opposites can't attract, right? It's more like, are our opposites going to vibe together? Yes.
So
or no?
like what? Like give me an example.
Oh, dude, easy one. People that are just living in the gym every day. That's not my fucking vibe, right? Like
You can tell.
that's awesome.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's
Damn.
like, I'm
Damn.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
But no, but for real, like
Wow.
straight up, that's
That's
it
a
hurts less when
zinger,
people
son.
laugh, so they
Yeah.
agreed.
That was
Hey, bro.
I just like that you're roasting him.
Yeah,
I was
no,
kidding.
it's good for me, but no, straight up, like it's great that you putting that much effort and care into yourself, like 100%. Like I'm all for it, support you, but I already know that we're not going to be on the
Yeah,
same page,
that
and
makes sense.
that is a big lifestyle, right?
it
it's,
is,
It's a
yeah.
big part of the way you live your life. So, you know, I stay physically active in other ways, but you're not going to find me in the gym,
He
right?
skates like all the time.
Yeah.
So that works.
So that's like that's a big one for me. And then if you're talking about smoking cigarettes, that's also an X right off the bat.
Yeah, he's big on
Yeah.
that.
And another one is if you have children. And being in your
Dude,
mid 30s,
same.
I turn that filter on, right? And at least 50% of the profiles are gone. Wiped off the board right away.
See, I did used to feel that way, but I feel like I've met some people now and like being older and they're like, oh, I have like a 15-year-old kid or something. Like, okay, that's fine, because it's like the kid can
It's
take care.
different, but-
the kid can take care of themselves. Like they're doing their damn thing. I don't have to worry about it. It's like if you have like a toddler, nah, son, I
No,
can't.
because I'm going to tell you this right now. That kid's 15, right? That woman still has the responsibility of that child. And what I mean by that is I'm childless, right? If I want to take a trip this weekend and just fucking blow off work and go for a week, I have to check in with her and she's got to work all that out. So that, again, is not a lifestyle match, right? It's there are just things that I want in my life. And if you have a child, there's a good chance that we're not going to line up.
See, I would just like respectfully disagree in the sense that like, again, the younger kid, I don't think it could happen. But like when I first started dating on Hinge, like a couple years ago, I met this girl. Her name was, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But like, I met this girl and she was like, I went to Fernside and I took her, and Jessa texted Leob.
I already know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And my friend Jessa, who was like one of the waitresses, or like her bartenders, I should say, bartender, sorry. She like texted Leob, this girl, and she was like, Kano's on a date with a dime. And like then in the middle of the date, Leob texts me and she's like, are you on a date with a dime? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, what the fuck? Why did you tell me? Blah, 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 blah. But she had a teenager. She had a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Anytime I hit her up, she was good. Like, homeboys chilling. Like, see, to me, that's fine. No problem.
That's
no problem.
Dude, that was short-lived. Let me
was
tell
short-lived.
you, in the long run, it's not sustainable For me.
It's going to be
personally.
crazy when I have to go on 30 dates and 30 days with a 13-year-old. It's going to be wild trying to figure out what I'm going to do with a
I
kid.
thought you had a 16-year-old.
13.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it?
Too
Do you
hard.
feel like you?
No, it doesn't affect anything. This guy's full of shit. Like, it just, if someone's telling you,
No, it affects
if
me.
someone's, it does affect you, and that's
Yeah, yeah.
fine. That's fair. But if someone is telling you, oh, my kid's in the way, yes, that is, like, that's totally
It's not that
valid.
the kid's in the way. It's that the
Well,
kid
like-
comes first, and I
Oh,
respect
yeah, the
that.
kid does come
yeah,
first. and
100%.
Not to say you don't respect it,
Yeah.
but, like, if they're telling you they can't accommodate you because of their child, they either do not fuck with you as much as they say they fuck with you,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's just point blank, or they don't have their shit together enough to where they need to be dating anyways. Like, that's really
Sure.
the reality of it, which goes to your point of, like, yeah, that's a thing, and, like, maybe it's not a great lifestyle choice, but it's really, it's hard. I know people who are dating with, like, younger kids. I dated with a younger kid. I have a 13-year-old now, and again, it's not for everyone, and some people do have baby daddy drama, which is like, maybe you shouldn't be dating, or maybe you should figure it out, or maybe they're not the best lifestyle choice. But if you meet a girl who you really fuck with and you're really like, oh, we should go on a trip together, and she says no because I have to accommodate my kid, she doesn't want to go on that trip.
And that's a
That's
fair
fair.
point.
Yeah.
And I will
You
tell
know?
you, there was one girl, the girl that I met in Costa Rica that I dated for a while.
Oh yeah.
And she had a kid. And I would fly out there and we would take trips together. So there are exceptions, right? But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, while I'm looking,
That's not what you're looking for,
it's
which
not
is fair.
it's not what I'm looking for. But if I find that person,
Yeah.
right, and it works, it works. But if
I
we're-
like how he's backpedaling and looking at me a lot like, well, I mean,
No, no.
I'm just saying. If
I'm
they
not
do a
applying
kid-
if that's what you're implying. No. What I'm saying is, it's not what I'm looking for, because I do think that my lifestyle and what I'm after doesn't support that necessarily.
I'll be honest. If a guy has a kid, I'm like, no thanks, and I have a kid. Yeah.
That's fair.
But that's a totally different dynamic.
That's
too,
like a
so-
step by step. Remember
Is
that
it
show?
though? If
It-
I see someone and they have a cat, I'm like,
I used to not care about the cat, but after the X, I'm like,
Yeah.
If you have a cat in your fucking thing, I'm
Dude.
done.
But
I'm
if I
so
see someone and they
X.
have a dog, I'm like,
100%.
bro, like, let's
Yeah.
hang out. Like,
So
I
we've
immediately
been
see
talking a
X.
lot about the dating apps, and like I'm really brand new to this stuff, like brand new. I like you guys. Just,
We're not saving it to the
Because
apps.
you
If
were in a
wanna-
relationship?
No, because he just has swag like that. He could just pick up chicks without the
he's
apps.
never needed the app. He's a social human being.
I'm a social human being, and
That's
I put myself
great.
out there, and I'm usually out all the time, and I prefer meeting somebody in real life.
Same.
These guys got me introduced to the apps, and it's still a brand new world to me, and I'm like, I went on my first date ever last night.
Oh my
Did
God,
you
you
really?
didn't tell us.
I-
Let's
Tell
go.
us.
I haven't had an opportunity.
Share
I
and
went-
tell, please.
It went well. It went really great.
Did you guys have sex?
I was
No,
just about
we
to
didn't.
ask. I was like, yo, if she gave it up on the first date, she'd for the streets.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Send her to the highway, son.
Don't put a ring on her.
Not true.
She ain't
No.
for you.
She
No.
ain't the one.
We did not have sex. We did not go to anyone's house. I invited her to Sunset Cliffs to have some wine, drink on the beach, watch the sunset.
Damn,
Who
dude.
are you?
Okay, wait, hold on. I want to know how the conversation started. Like, did you like hers? Did she like yours?
Was she a white girl?
We don't need to know about race.
I
Derm-
do.
Derm
No,
loves
no,
white
he
girls,
likes white
though.
girls.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for his business.
She's a mixture of races, but I think
She's spicy white. It's all
I
right.
think she was telling me she went all over the world and she's like lived abroad, and so it's really
She's
hard
white.
to keep up. She's like, I lived in Tel Aviv, I lived in India, I lived in Rome, I lived in
Oh,
like San
damn.
Francisco, and I was like, all right, chill.
I also X those chicks.
Chill.
23 countries my whole
I
life.
can I can tell from her profile that she was all well traveled. There wasn't like a bunch of Paris photos, like, you know what I mean. She just like looked cute. She was cute. She had long brown hair. She was brown skin, but
Oh.
Okay,
She's
so
like, look Hawaiian-ish.
she hit you up. You hit her up.
she liked my photo or I think I liked her photo, and then she liked one of mine, and I was all
What drew you to her?
her long curly brown hair.
So you didn't even read the personality stuff.
No, I did. She was cute enough and like said cute things, you know what I mean? But like she had the physical features, and this is like the first girl I ever liked
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
I was like, I don't know how you guys do this. I was like,
Wait, was this your first date off of Hinge, period?
this is my
Yeah.
first date off a dating app in
Whoa.
general ever in my life.
Damn, it
24
only
hours ago.
took
Okay.
a week after we updated his profile.
Dude, okay, so I've had they talked me into. I went to Mexico with them one day, and
We
they're
didn't
all
talk you into it.
Yeah.
We just hyped up the app.
Was that the first date, the international Derm? Is that when we
the
did
international Derm trip. Yeah.
Damn.
Tight.
Welcome to the team.
So I got the app and I set it up, and I never did it right or something. No one ever liked my things except like super really unattractive people. that aren't my type, I should say.
Dude, and we would go through his page. It was
The algorithm was
It was
not in his
bad.
favor.
It was
Okay,
really
but
bad.
what kind of pictures did you post, or like what was?
his pictures weren't bad.
It wasn't about his pictures. It was
The prompts weren't
My-
good.
it was his filters and the range that he set as far as
Sometimes, yeah.
we
They
just
did
had
a-
to fix it up.
We sat at the bar
Yeah.
and they tinkered with my phone for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
We're like going through. We're like, no, put the order this way. Like,
I
it
did,
totally
I
tran-
did that with my friends.
It
too.
totally transformed, and it's like full of stuff now, and it's really overwhelming. And it's I feel really creepy about it because I'm not used to it, and I'm like, hi. Anyways, I'll zoom back into the one day. I said what up, and I wouldn't normally say that. I would
That's
say
all you said?
Yeah, I would.
Dude, he got a date. You don't need a judge.
I said, hey.
No, I'm curious.
I said, hey,
said,
what
"What
up?
up?"
Yeah.
And I would have typed
And she's
what.
like, what's up?
I would have put the S on what, but I typoed it or something. And she's all.
Oh, I honestly thought you put WUT.
No.
That's what I imagined.
WHAT. And,
Okay.
and then she's all, what up? Ha ha ha. And I was like, oh, my bad. I forgot the S. And she's like, you're a dork, aren't you? And I was like, I
Small
guess.
comment, small
I don't
What's-
like it.
And her name was B. And I was like, what's your real name? My real
Oh,
name.
yeah, I don't like that
Girls
either.
are
And
Yeah,
I don't like that the whole thing so far. Go ahead.
I don't know. It was really weird. It was really weird. I went through with it because she was down, and she's like, I don't know. She's like, I liked your picture, and your skating was cool, and your corners are tight. I was like, cool, cool, cool.
Damn, you like the cornrows are new.
Yeah. And I was like, I actually just got them taken out, and I have this really sketchy, fresh off the boat afro right now. So she was like, oh, it doesn't matter. You look cool. And like, you want to get together? I was like, sure. What do you like to do?
Oh, so she asked you out?
Yeah. She's like, do you want to get together? And she was really forward, and she was like,
Those are the
not
best.
shy.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
it.
that's
I like
my
it
favorite.
again.
I like that.
She was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
shy, and this
Yep.
will play into the day when you meet her and she's well traveled and whatnot. She's like, "Yeah, let's meet up, let's do something." And I was like, "Cool. What does this mean? Like, I don't know what this means." I'm like, "Does this mean like come to my house and let's have sex or something,
No,
or do
it's
we like go on a
Hinge.
Let's
date?"
meet up.
It's Hinge.
I don't
so
fucking
it's-
know, man. I don't know.
It's broader than that.
Yeah, Hinge is a little more datey. Like,
Yeah.
let's
So-
go on a date.
So I was like trying to be a gentleman, and be like, "Yeah, let's do something cool. I don't know, like something in public. Let's go." It's the I was like, "It's the last couple days of summer. Tomorrow's the last day of summer." So I was like, "Let's just go to the beach and watch the sunset while it's like summertime, you know?"
Yeah.
She's like, cool. Let's go to Sunset Cliffs. I was like, that's exactly what I was going to say. And I was like, do you like beer? Or I was like, are you a tall can kind of girl or a wine kind of girl? Or I said, are you a...
Or box wine.
are
Kick
you
the bag.
are you a Cabernet kind of girl or a Modelo tall
Cabernet.
You
can?
did not really say Cabernet.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
It's Cabernet.
Yeah, well, he spelt it, so
Well, he
it was.
spelled
spelled
it.
like
I'm reading in my
Cabernet.
brain.
Yeah.
I'm also retarded and don't care. They're like, are you a Cabernet Sauvignon kind of girl, or are you a Modelo tall can, or
You just say
Modelo tall
white-
can?
white-
I don't know how you want me to say shit, nigga.
White or red?
Yeah. Anyways, and she's like, "Oh, cab for sure," and I was like, "Cool. I'll grab some." I'll
a
grab
bottle of wine.
I'll grab
Yeah.
a bottle of wine. Let's meet at Sunset Cliffs, like right in the middle of the parking lot in front of everybody. And she's like, yeah. Or at first I was like, yeah, I can pick you up if you want. She's like, pick me up. What the fuck? And I was like, oh shit.
She said that? She
Yeah.
responded like that?
Yeah. She's like, pick me up. What the hell are you talking about? And I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of weird, huh? Yeah. Meet me
I
at
don't
the
think
beach.
that's weird. I think you should still keep it. Is, most women are going to say no, but I think it's a nice offer.
It's a
I like.
chivalry.
I'll typically
Yeah.
say no just because it's like just safety purposes. But I do like the offer.
Cool. Yeah, she was really playful, but like kind of talking shit and busting my balls the whole time. So that made it cool and kind of like made it easier to talk to. Like, oh, she's just roasting me kind of a little bit every time I say
That's
something.
the best, yeah.
That's the best.
Every time I
Yeah.
say something kind of nervous, like I type something, I'm like, that feels kind of like that. She'd be
You're so
like,
funny.
relax, well, let's just chill. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So we met up. It was cool. She was really cool. We talked the whole time. Drank the whole bottle of wine, and I was like, whoa, I'm getting kind of tipsy. While we were drinking the wine, this is totally segueing into like this
She
little
gave
side
you
quest.
head.
No,
Oh.
nobody got, no clothes came off.
Fine.
It was very cool, very G-rated.
It was all over the clothes.
It was very PG. There was kiss on the cheek for greetings and stuff. And
Oh, really?
Gross.
She must
You
be
got a
Latina
kiss
or
on the cheek?
something.
when we met, I was like, "Hi, I'm
She's
Demetrius," and
probably
kissed her on the
yeah.
cheek. Not like we kissed on the cheek.
She's
but-
from Mexico?
No, she's
No,
from.
She's
Latina. though.
probably-
She's from
some-
Chicago.
She could
Oh.
still be Latina.
She's from
Yeah,
Chicago.
she could be
There's like
Cubana.
Yeah, she's
Dominican,
something.
Puerto
Yeah,
Rican.
she's,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she might be Dominican. or
All of
something,
that
but she's
stuff.
like mixed
Yo,
with
you gotta
some.
watch out. Those Dominicans, they be scary.
Anyway, she was not shy. We hung out at the beach, drank the wine. While I was drinking the wine, this is a little side quest here. I was trying to act all cool, you know what I mean? We're on a little date, and I'm like kicked out on the blanket. I grab my little plastic wine cup, and I go to take a sip while she's like telling me a story. And right when I put the cup to my mouth, there's a bee or a fly or something right where I put my tongue. And I go like,
You touched it with your
And
tongue?
A bug just starts flapping its wings and buzzing right on my tongue as I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I throw my cup. I literally spit all this wine out
Like, fuck
all over her blanket. I pour my wine all over her blanket, and I throw this cup, and I'm like, oh my God, and I start
She
freaking
got
out.
the,
I
she
start
got
freaking
the
out.
ick. I'm telling you right now,
There's-
she got the ick.
There's nothing I could have done in this situation, no matter who I was with. You know what I mean? I would have reacted this way no matter what. And she's like, what the hell? I was like, oh my God, there's a bug on my thing. And she's like, oh, you're good. Just, I got another cup. Just pour some wine. Fuck that cup. And I was like, she just like wrote it out really quick. I was like, holy crap, that was super embarrassing. I'm super grossed out. She's like, just don't even worry about it. Like, she's like, you're fine. It didn't sting you, right? I was like, no. And I was like, why do I feel like my big sister's talking to me right now? Like, you're good. I was like, oh, yeah, I am good. Inside, I was like freaking out. I was like, there's a fucking beehive in my head. You know what I mean?
God, dude.
I just felt the fucking wings flapping on my tongue. But she poured some more wine and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I ended up getting really tipsy. And so did she. She's like, hey, I'm kind of tipsy and I'm afraid to drive home. And I was like, well, let's go now. And then we went and
Or
ate
walk it
food at
off.
Plumeria.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, are you hungry? You want to keep hanging out? She's like, yeah, let's keep hanging out. I was like, well, let's go to Plumeria. And I was like, let's go eat something. She's like, well, I'm vegan. And I was like, well, I'm not,
Easy.
because I just showed her my cheeseburger tattoo. I had this humongous cheeseburger tattoo you don't know about. So I'm obviously not vegan. And I was like, oh, let's go to Plumeria. I'm not vegan, so I could eat whatever I want. And Plumeria's good, and it's in walking distance from my house. She's like, cool. We ate there. It was all good. Dinner was super cool. We were chatting and laughing the whole time. Drank some sake. And told her about my Barcelona trip coming up, and she's like, "Oh my God, I've been there like 100 times." And I was like,
Did she really say that?
Yeah, she's like, "I've been there like 1,000 times." And I was like, "Cool." She's like, "I've been all over the world."
What did she
1,000,000
do
times."
for work?
I don't remember.
Damn, Derm.
Okay.
Well,
It sounds
smoked
like it
it.
was fun.
It was.
You had
fun.
a positive
She
experience.
dropped me off at home because Plumeria is right by my house, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just park by my house and just walk over there." And she's like, "Cool." And while we were eating, I was like, telling her about my house, and she was telling me about hers. I was like, yeah, I live in this like really big Victorian house. She's like, oh my God, I love Victorians. I was like, it's literally right down the street. She's like, I'll give you a ride home. And I was like, all right, cool, this is like working out.
Yeah.
And she just dropped me off.
so question, because I think everybody wants to know: is there a second date lined up?
How did it end?
It ended well, like a hug and kiss on the cheek, and she was like smiling and laughing and said that she'll hit me up, try to hit me up before I go on my trip next week. So I was like, we'll see how it goes.
So
I'll hit her up too, like.
So you're gonna wait for her to reach out?
No. I'm gonna give her a shout
Yeah,
back
take the
probably
initiative?
Thursday. Probably Thursday.
Okay.
Cool. Be like, hey, just wanted to be like, hey, it's fun. I don't know. Just to be a gentleman. I don't know.
Wine Wednesday, baby.
Oh, you gonna bring
It's
her to wine on
cash.
Wednesday?
It's a good vibe.
I'm also like being very frugal because I leave in like 9 days. to go
Wine
on my
on
trip.
Wednesday.
You could also just take her
make-
to the park.
Yeah.
That's, wine on Wednesday.
That's what
is
Wine on
at
Wednesday
the park
is.
on Wednesday nights.
Yeah. We
I
just
don't like
sit.
wine, so I don't know.
No,
you don't even
need
need
wine.
wine.
We
We
smoke,
smoke.
we
We
It's just a
fucking
picnic.
chill.
We'll
There's-
just do DJs.
Oh, you guys do a thing.
No.
Yeah.
No, this
No,
is a
it's
thing in
Wino
Morley
Club.
Field. Yeah, Wino Club.
Yeah.
We go
Okay.
to a thing.
They
Remember
host it.
you remember the DJ who was here when
Yeah.
at the grand opening? So that DJ collective DJs in the park every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to sunset.
At Morley Field right here.
Yeah, or
Balboa
to
Park.
sundown. And they literally, like, you could just post up. We go, like, for the first 2 or 3 weeks we were going, we literally weren't even drinking. We had, like, a bunch of sparkling waters, and then we'd take, like, edibles and, like, smoke
I don't
weed
even
and
drink.
chill.
I don't think I drank the last 2 of them.
No.
No, you drank wine at
Oh, yeah,
last week.
because he was
yeah, we were
pouring
drinking
wine. Because
Okay.
Connor brought wine.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we were getting drunk or anything.
No, it's a mellow vibe, and
Danny
everyone
did.
comes out. Like, even a couple families were coming out.
You
There's,
just hang
like,
out.
babies and
you
shit
just hang
there,
out in the
like,
park
yeah.
and they play
Yeah.
music and you just sit in the grass with your friends.
Such good
Yeah,
music.
it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
Bo comes and
And it's
causes
free.
a ruckus.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's fucking free.
Just
Yeah.
sit in the grass.
That, or you bring her to roller skate Thursdays.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
$15. Get the Groupon $6.75 per person.
$6.50.
Oh, at Skate World?
No.
No, Derby
United.
United.
Oh, my friend used to do Derby.
Okay, so before we like go off track, I was like telling a story. Then I told you guys I went on my first date, and it kind of segued. But normally, I'm not on the dating apps, and I usually just do it on the streets like normal. And so like
normal. 2022, Derm.
Oh,
what is
like-
normal?
That's more
true.
organic.
Yeah, I do it more organically. Thank you very much. I do it
I'd
more
agree
face to
with
face.
this.
So the dating app thing is new to me, and you guys talking about it, it's like, wow, this is like overwhelming still, even though I know how to use it now, and I'm just like, I kind of don't like being on there. It's just like,
I will say I do like meeting people in person, like having the shop. Some ladies have come in since I've been here, and like I've met girls organically, and those have been some fun dates. Like I met a girl here. We went to Mexico. We fucking hung out till like 2 o'clock in the morning after we left. Like it was fucking so
Right.
rad. And she was the nicest girl. Nothing. No kisses or nothing. Just like fucking hung out till like 2 a.m. Fucking went out. And it was like, dude, I'm so glad I didn't meet you through an app. Like,
Yeah.
It was so fucking dope. She was so nice.
Yeah.
What would have been the difference though?
What would have been the difference?
Yeah.
In terms of what?
How you guys would have hung out?
Well, it's I want to say it's almost forced through the app, right? Like you're both there with a purpose to meet somebody. But when you meet somebody in real life, right, in person, and there's just that chemistry, that natural connection, and you just kind of want to vibe with that person, like you feel like them almost pulling you towards them or them towards yourself.
I mean,
I think that changes things. The dynamic.
Yeah, I think I would agree somewhat to that. I mean, for me personally, this particular person, she walked in and she was like, "Hey, is Kano here?" She's like, and she didn't even know me, and she was like, "Yeah, like my friends told me I should come in here and talk to Kano because like he owns the shop," and I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And then so she was like, "Oh my God, so nice to meet you." She's like, I just moved here. I just, started working around here." And I was like, "Dope, blah, blah, blah." And she was, from this area in Mexico. I was like, "We just got back from there, like literally 2 weeks ago." So we kind of started talking about like Mexico and our love for Mexico and like our love for her specific city where she was at. And I was like, this might be a little like literally within the first 15 minutes I met her, I was like, this might be a little forward, but have you ever been to TJ? And she's like, "I've never been there yet." She's like, "I would love to go." I was like, "Oh, they have the best tacos on the planet. Like, you can go to, Guadalajara, you can go to Mexico City. Like, they don't fuck with the tacos in TJ." So she's like, "Yeah, like, let's go." So I invited her to go, and, we didn't really talk during the week. And then, like, the day before, I was like, "Hey, are you still down?" And she's like, "Yep." So we go, and we had, like, the best fucking day. Like, she was so rad, and she's like, like a girl that we were with too that came with Ray Ray, like she walked away and the girl was sitting there, she's like, "Let's tell everybody it's her birthday," because they had this big selfie
She was
thing.
a lot of fun.
She was
Yeah.
so much fun, and we were having a great time. And then as soon as we were coming back across the border, she was like, "Hey, like, what are you gonna do tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, I was just gonna probably go home." She's like, "Let's keep hanging out."
But do you think that you can't have that same experience with somebody off the app? Because I think
Well,
that's
no, but that's what I'm getting to. Is that I was
Yeah.
like, I was explaining it in the sense where it's like, when we did that, it was very much not forced. We went to the bar and literally we had like one drink each and we're just talking. And then I was like, "Hey, since you're new to town, let me show you some fucking spots." And we just kept going around and around. And she was like, I don't know. It was different in the sense where like off the apps, the only girl that I've only met, I can think 2 girls off the app that I literally met, and it was like super awesome immediately.
Instant vibe. Yeah.
And this girl I met organically, and it was a better vibe than anybody I've met.
You didn't have that buffers with that, and that's what the app is.
Yeah, and
right?
it's like because
a
you have all
buffer.
these
But
fucking.
I think that's because you guys allow it to be. And I'm not vouching for the apps because I'm not a huge like fan of the apps either. But what I will say, my frustration with a lot of the guys on there, I fucking hate a profile where he seems like a cool guy. Like his pictures seem cool, good looking cat, like good friends. Like it seems like he does the same shit I like to do. And then it's like, what's the worst idea you had? Make a Hinge. What would you never do again? Make a Hinge. And it's like,
that's the worst.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, if
Yeah.
you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here.
Well,
stupid.
That's not the attitude, though,
Yeah.
right?
The things you type in that stuff are just as important as the pictures and create a whole atmosphere of you. You know what I mean?
Well,
They add to the atmosphere of
Yeah.
you. So it's not just the pictures that you can rely on.
Right.
These answers are like,
But you can't even really rely on that because then you have you're sitting with your homies who might be veterans in the
But
game,
you
and they're like,
can't-
"No, you got to do it like this, do it like this," and then
Right,
and all
but
of a sudden it changes.
You can't also rely on
so
like
weird.
I've met people organically and I'm like, God damn, I would never have fucking hung out with you if I knew you were like this in the first 10 minutes of our conversation. Like I just would have never done that.
Yeah, but
That's
you
facts.
might
You
not
have
have
the
been able to
option of
gauge
leaving.
that via the
You
app,
have the option
right?
of leaving either way.
Because you lose context, right? Via
Well, I'll be
texting.
like on mine. I try to be like as exposed and vulnerable as possible. So like on my voice note, I'm usually like, "Hey, I don't like to give hugs when I first meet someone.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was a
that
good
shit
one.
is ridiculous, and I think it's awful. And if you're gonna give me a hug, just know that I'm gonna yell rape.
Wow.
You are forcing
Excellent.
yourself.
I will say.
because
No,
I'm
that's the
Mexican and we give hugs for no fucking
that
reason.
was hard R.
I agree. I agree with you on the hug thing.
But I'm
I don't
That's
saying-
fuck
hard
with
R
hugs.
right
I know
there.
Connor does. I know
I don't
Connor
fuck
does.
with hugs.
I'm totally kidding about the rape part, but I will say like, hey, I don't like to give hugs, and then I'll say something along the lines of like, the first time we meet is not a date. Like, let's go to coffee. Let's hang out for an hour. Let's go. I don't even want to grab drinks. Like, let's go to lunch. Let's do something super casual to see if we even like each other and want to consider going on a date.
Totally.
Fair.
That's the thing, and it's like, since this is so new to me, I don't necessarily just want to have to go spend money to go hang out with some girl.
No,
meet,
not
you know what I mean?
definitely not.
And
Dude,
like-
the one prompt, best way to win me over is like, let's plan a trip, or I planned a trip, or like I took care of this,
or
did
like
this.
wine
like,
and
who
dine
the
me,
fuck are
or like
you?
nice
I'm
this,
just gonna
nice
take
that.
you out. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
stop it. Like,
I know
no.
that's rough.
The idea of
No.
being like, let's meet somewhere and I'll buy you a drink and I'm
No.
like, it's super weird. I don't know how to do it yet.
Even when I've gone out with girls to grab a drink, because let's say we meet in the evening and that's just what we decided to do.
I'm
right?
gonna drink anyways. So
No, I'm not going to
do
buy
that.
you a drink. Like, there should be zero expectation that I buy you a drink or that you buy me a drink, right? As far
My
as I'm
first time
concerned.
meeting someone, I do try to get there a little early so I can buy my own coffee or my own food, because I don't like that, like,
Lay down
our
the-
first time meeting, like, you should buy yours, I should buy mine.
Yeah.
But if I ask you on a date, I'm going to pay. Like, if I'm
Right.
like, hey, would you, and if the guy, like, insists, it kind of does upset me, because I'm like, you're doing this weird, like, traditional thing and we're not going to end up working out. Like,
That's it. It's
you
like
know what
the
I
whole
mean?
traditional thing. Like, how do I even initiate? Like, what do we even do the first time? Like, I'm gonna ask you on a date, and if I'm like, yeah, we should meet up somewhere, and I'll grab a drink. That's me
Yeah.
asking you somewhere. Like, I want to do that with you, so I'll buy you a drink. Automatically, I'm like, in that vein. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can't just be like, let's just go sit in the grass. But I feel like I could. But that's kind of weird.
you could.
Is it though?
No,
I
it's
think you
not.
should.
I've gone on I met another girl through, like, oh god, this sounds so bad. But like, I met another girl here at the shop, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, hey, like, you're super cool. The conversations. It was like over the course of like a month. I was like, yeah, like, you know, you seem really cool. Like, I follow you on Instagram. Like, I think your music is dope. Or like DMing, like, oh, this music's tight. This music's tight. Like, oh, send this track. Blah blah blah. And I was like, hey, like, I've been talking to you for a little bit now. I was like, would you want to just go hang out? And she's like, what do you want to do? I was like, we could just go hang out in the park. Literally just went to the park. I brought some beers from Seek, and it was super mellow. But to your point, Lucey, I fucking within like the first, like, I don't know, 15 minutes, I was like, oh, this is a bad idea. This
Yeah.
was a super bad
I
idea.
mean, it just hit or miss. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the app, in person, whatever. It just, like, sometimes it just sucks. Like, it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do this. But that's why it's like, don't say, let's go on a date. Just be like, hey, do you want to hang out?
See, again, I'm learning. But this is the stuff I can gauge right away with meeting somebody in real life. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not going to hang out with you. In
Yeah.
like 3 minutes of looking at your face. You know what I mean? Like,
So let's go around though. What's your favorite like first hangout? Well,
Hang out or date?
you've only done Sunset Cliff, so we're gonna leave it there.
that's usually my
Well,
move
and are we
anyway.
sticking to Hinge?
No, just in general, like let's say you meet somebody, whether it's through the app or in real life, and you're like, hey, I'd like to get to know you better, right? I'd like to
What's
spend
your
one-on-one
hangout?
time. What are
So
some
yours
like?
is Sunset Cliffs.
Yeah,
What's your first, like, let's...
he's like my house. What
I'd
are,
rather meet in like a social setting and just hang out there, like at
like what though?
like a video premiere, like meet somebody at like.
But those are
That
like
is not the
those are
best.
so
That
far and
doesn't-
few in
yeah.
between.
You especially, because you were Mr. Skateboard. You're going to be all over the fucking place.
No,
Like,
no,
what's
no.
poppin'?
Yeah,
Da, da, da,
but
da, da.
after the video.
No. Let's be more realistic.
come on now.
Let's be
I
more
like-
realistic.
If that's his favorite, that's... You guys asked him
But
a
then we're like,
question.
No, but
I
the-
wasn't even done answering. I'm like, oh, let's
But-
break off. I like breaking off that early.
But like
I'm like,
video
let's go.
premieres are like how far and few in between. That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
no, okay.
Well,
okay,
there's
okay.
it's when it's video premiere season.
Is that where you
With-
like to meet
Everybody
people?
do a lap and come back to me.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Connor.
Go ahead.
I will say, fuck, my favorite, like just for Hinge, because I mean, like, yeah, I was married, so that yeah,
Just
I would
first
say
date,
just
man.
First
Come on.
statement, I would definitely say when I met my ex-girlfriend. Like, to date, I still think that was the best one. Like,
So to a bar. That's what you're telling me.
no, it wasn't even. I mean, it was fall, but like,
That's a bar.
sure.
So
But it
that's
was
your
like-
ideal first
My
date.
ex-girlfriend.
No,
was at
not
a-
my
like a
ideal first date
video
at all.
premiere.
No, that, I wouldn't say that's my ideal first date. No, like
Yeah.
my ideal first date would be, fuck, like, date, like, fuck, I don't know. I
When
thought
you
we were saying
ask-
your favorite one, like.
No, not your favorite past experience in meeting somebody. What, like when you prompt someone and you say, "Hey, I'm into you. Like, let's hang out. Let's meet." Where do you like to go?
I would really like to make them coffee.
Sunset Cliffs, back of my truck.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
fine, and that's great.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
I would like to make them coffee because for me, coffee's a big thing. And believe it or not, like out of all the women that I've met, dude, I can count on one hand how many actually drink coffee or even enjoy coffee.
So that's what you offer as your first date every time you meet somebody new?
If I can go somewhere and like grab a coffee with you, yeah, like that's
Okay.
what I'm gonna yeah,
That's
coffee,
great.
100%.
Yeah.
So what you're asking is first date. You're saying like once you're
Or
interested
first,
in someone, you want
first
to ask.
meetup, whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to call it.
So first meetup is very because I don't know if I'm interested in that
Yeah,
person.
no, fair enough. And so for you, I know it's something quick, it's something easy, something casual.
Well, but it's also like first meetup. A guy asking me what's my favorite is different than me asking.
Yeah, but what is ideal for you? Like when you're gonna meet somebody for the first time, what would you like to do?
It's something like coffee or lunch.
Coffee.
It's something casual.
Okay.
Because it's like I get to know you, like I get to sit. But I don't like if I'm drinking coffee and you're drinking tea. Game over.
Anytime
Same.
Yeah,
Like, no,
like,
fuck all
it's-
that.
Anytime I invite a girl on a first date, they don't want to eat. They don't want to eat in front of me.
I really don't want to eat with somebody on the first date.
I
I know.
love eating.
Well, first date's different than first meetup.
Or first meetup, like the first time I meet a girl, the last thing she wants to do is like, I don't want you to see me eating. I get that a lot.
Some people think that's really intimate. I can understand that.
I think it is.
I think hugging is like the most intimate thing ever. That's why I don't hug people.
Yeah, I don't like hugs.
Like ever. Unless like if I'm hugging you, you have to be like, I'm either in love with you or like we've been homies forever. Like when like, except for when I don't know. There's like younger people that like I'm like on my fight team and shit that I'll be like they'll come up and be like, oh my god, hug, and I'm just like, okay, fuck.
Because that's more like endearing and.
Dude,
I'm okay with a hug in general. I don't like the idea of hugging it. Like we just met. Like we're walking up on the Hinge day and we recognize each other and it's like, and it's like I don't fucking know you.
Well, it
I
doesn't
don't
need to
know
be
you.
like two arms.
No, it
it's
just
more like
doesn't
that
need to be
half-ass,
anything.
Like, hey, nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
I gave my friend
It
Katie
could
a
also
hug
be
today, and
this.
it was, like,
Just
wow.
a handshake. Is
Yeah,
super
it could be
kosher.
this. It could be this. It
Yeah.
could be this. It
No,
could
I don't
be
even do that.
So many things.
I walk up to him. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm Kano.
I would do
Like,
that. I would do the
that's it.
handshake.
What did I do? Did I shake your hand when I introduced myself to you today?
You were like walking into the. I think we did shake hands.
I think I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm Raul, by the way.
I think so.
Yeah.
'Cause
I gave her a
we
fist
both
bump.
had stuff in our
Shook your
hand.
hand.
Yeah, we shook hands.
Yeah.
I would go
That's
for the
good.
handshake every time, male or female.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's safe.
I try to
That's
like I try to get there early. I try to get my coffee and I try to stay seated so that when they do come up, it's just like I'm already settled, dude. Like, why are you gonna?
It's like, sit down,
Like,
brah.
just sit down. Or go get your coffee and then sit down.
You are interesting.
So okay, wait. So one question I wanted to ask, because like I wanted to ask is like, what has anybody here? Like I know Ray hasn't because we talked about it last night at dinner, but has anybody here gone on a blind date?
Yeah.
You have.
Well, also, wait. You never said your favorite meetup.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it would also be something casual. It could be something like a walk on the beach, where we can just
he does that a
talk.
lot.
We can sit down. We can watch the ocean.
No,
chat.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well,
Well, he's
also
like, he takes his dog. He's
also,
like,
I
I'm gonna
take
go
Bo.
my dog.
Oh, if you took your dog on my meet, I would see you from far and be like, hey, I can't make it.
Oh no,
If
people.
there was a dog, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not.
People already know from
No,
my
thanks.
profile that Bo is going to be there.
Yeah.
So you'd already
I would
know.
have if you had Bo in every single one of your pictures. I would have never swiped.
No,
up.
he's not in
Like,
every
Wow.
photo. He's
If
actually
he had more than half,
he's in one photo.
I might have still.
He's in one
if
photo.
If he's in one photo and you say, "I love my dog,"
I don't
no.
say I love my dog.
Well, if your dog
See,
would have been
okay,
there,
I have
would
a
have been
cat,
like,
and when I
People
hear
would've known.
girls say they have a dog, I'm just like, oh, I can't talk to you.
yeah.
And it's not because they have a dog; it's because I have a cat. It's not even because they have a dog. Because I'm gonna love the dog. But you know what I mean? I think the dog is dope. I think the dog is dope. But I'm like, yeah, you can't bring your dog.
But Bo grew up with cats, so Bo can run
Dogs
with
and
them all.
But my
Cats and
cat will
dogs get
fucking
along.
attack.
Oh, fair
The
enough.
cat
So your
will
cat's
attack.
a piece of shit,
Yeah,
not the dog.
yeah, she's a royal
Your
jerk.
cat's a reflection of the
My
internet.
cat's a good boy. He actually likes dogs. He enjoys having dogs over, but I'm
My
not a
cat
dog
has
person.
been codependent with the dog originally, been for like years.
I remember that.
But she has no interest now that she's free
On her own.
On her own.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of dogs that play in my place.
Right.
And she always watches them from afar. She almost attacked a puppy today. She like stepped to this puppy and like we had to pick it up. She was like stepping to it and got all fluffy tailed just today. And I was like, dude, my cat sucks. But she's the best. Like she loves me, but she hates animals.
Shout out to Pixie.
So yeah, shout out Pixie. But whenever I like a girl's like, oh, I have a dog and like this, I'm like, shit. I'm probably not gonna work in your dynamic. Then this isn't gonna work. It's me, not you.
It's my cat.
It's my cat.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
you
your
can
dog.
pause it right there.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you know?
I love your dog, but my cat is gonna be like a thing, and it's your dog's not allowed in my
But
house.
that's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, and like I don't want to live with cats again, ever again.
Dude,
I don't
we used
want-
to have like 2 Egyptian cats,
2 Sphinx.
There you go.
I love the naked kind.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude.
I
So-
love them.
They're my
were
neighbors,
so
They're
weird.
they're sweet, they're cute, whatever, but they're messy. They fuck up your house. End of story.
I used to
they're
watch his
stinky.
house. Dude, I used to
Yeah.
watch his house, and they would literally, like, I was chilling there, and all of a sudden they just, like, jump on the fucking gate. They would just jump and hold on to the gate.
My
and
cat
climb
kind of
and
does
climb.
Really
that.
did.
Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy.
And that's fine. That stuff doesn't bother me. It's like the paw prints all over my fucking house, and I like things clean. So, like, it just torments me, right? They want to climb under the blankets, into the sheets. And Sphinx.
I love it.
Dude,
Now, and
dude,
Sphinx
they-
cats
it was
have oil
crazy.
buildup on their
They're
skin.
oily,
So
yeah.
they stain your sheets. Anything they fucking touch gets stained. So it's like, nah, miss me with that shit. Like, I don't need to do it again.
I don't mind dating someone with a dog. Like I have like talked to dudes and been interested and like enjoyed their company. I don't like dog people. Like I don't like this is my
like dog
fucking
people
this is
either.
my child.
I know what
don't-
you're saying.
I can't
Dude,
go anywhere
that's
without my
fucking-
dog.
No, no, no.
Like I'm
No.
just like
Yeah,
I don't like dog
Bo's
people.
my homie. He's my homie. But if I have to leave him in the crate,
You're not
I
a dog
leave him
people
at home.
person.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
leave him
like
at
that.
home and I go live my life when I
Yeah,
need
you don't
to.
give me
There's
dog
people
people
that
vibes.
like bring their dog to Home Depot and to Denny's and to freaking the mall.
I mean,
and,
he
like,
does go to Home
everywhere.
Depot.
You're like
Yeah.
support
Garden center, baby.
And
support
like, they sit at
animals
the
and
table
shit.
when
Yeah.
you're at like Humphreys
They're-
by the Bay and
Like,
shit, you're like,
he's
what the
here tonight with us because he's been in the crate all day.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, like, I'm like, fuck, I got to take him out of the crate.
You don't
Trust
give me
me,
dog people
you're
vibes,
not-
but if you brought him on our first date, I'd be like, no.
You're not
so,
one of them.
So to be
bro.
fair on that, right? Typically, that person has a dog too, and I'm like, hey, let's go on a dog date. We take our dogs, walk on the beach,
I'm gonna
we'll
throw
chat it
up.
up.
I'm gonna
It's
throw up.
because if you have a dog, that's like, it's so much easier. That person understands, you know, that you have a dog and you guys have similar responsibilities, so it's just easier to manage.
the dog people thing.
It's-
I told
He
you.
also has me at the house, and I'll take care of the
And then
dog.
Kano hangs out with both.
Yeah.
We
too.
hang out all the time.
So
Yeah, see, dogs aren't allowed at my house. It's not my rule.
I know.
It's
It's
my
your
cat's
cat's.
rule. So I'm like, if you have a dog, just don't bring it. And everybody's like, well, my dog loves cats, and I just brought it anyways.
I
I'm
think
like,
I
well,
tried to
we're
bring him
fucking
over
stuck.
once, and Derm's like, "Nah, we're gonna smoke outside."
Yeah, we're gonna sit outside, dude. We're gonna sit right here on the
I was
stairs.
like, "Oh, okay."
It's not my rule, dude. I don't know. It's her house.
What was your question?
Has anybody been on a blind date?
Oh yeah, I have been
Yeah,
on
I
blind
think
date.
so. But
Like you
think
didn't
so?
know what
No,
they
you
look
know.
like. You didn't even know their name.
You were like, hey, Derm,
did know
I got
their
a
name.
girl that
Okay.
I really want you to meet, but I'm not going to show you a picture. I'm going to set you up on a blind date.
for sure.
like, be at this spot 6
like
p.m.
been
Good
like
luck.
wing like +1. Like
No.
No.
It's you
On
meeting
your own,
up
son.
with a blind date.
I'm gonna just say no. 'cause
No, it's never
nothing
happened.
Memorable.
Not me neither.
I have been on a blind date.
Was it good or bad?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't. Again, I have like a weird. Like I know most women want like tall, dark, and handsome, and I'm like, dude, 5'10"
Do
is
they?
cool. Like
Do they want tall,
5'8"
dark, and
to 5'10" is really like my sweet spot. Because I think sometimes when they get too tall, if I'm too short, it looks like pedophile-ish. It gets me weirded out. Like I'm like, oh, this
How
is
tall are
gross.
you?
I'm only like 5'4".
That's
And I figure
not
if
that
I
short.
5'4" plus sometimes the highest pair of heels I have is 5 inches, so then I end up being 5'9". So if they're 5'10", 5'11", that's a sweet spot right there. I just need you to be a little bit taller than me. But if you're like, I mean, I'm also not wearing heels that often, so it's just like one of those things. And I mean, I've dated guys who are like my same size, and that's cool because you get like extra clothes.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's
say.
like, oh,
I was
okay.
like,
Wait,
what's
what?
cool about
Yeah,
that?
I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, I can wear your clothes.
You
This
can
is-
wear
But-
I was
gas
going to say,
clothes.
what about the short
You know what that means though? That means you don't actually get a big tee, right? You get like a fitted tee.
Yeah.
Well,
like
yeah,
those
but I was
things.
mostly buying like jackets and
Oh,
stuff,
like the
a
sweater.
little like denim. Yeah, like something. But I do tend to like attract 6 foot to 6'4" men, and I'm like, why do you like me? Leave me alone. It's
Because they
gross.
like little girls.
Exactly.
Dude, that's super
I have the
weird.
braces. That's really weird. Like if a guy's like, I like the braces, I'm like, you're a pedophile.
That is
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing to
It's
comment
a weird
on,
thing.
in my
It
opinion.
dude, it happens.
It can be okay that it's
an
like
insane
not an
amount of
issue,
time.
right? But like to say
Right.
like, oh, I like the braces.
There's it's an icebreaker for most
I bet
people.
they're Mexican.
No, most of them have been white. I mean, there's been a couple Mexicans in there, but most of them are white.
Because a lot of Mexicans get braces for some reason, like later in life, and
Yeah.
the females seem to like really like the look.
I don't.
I don't. Braces don't do anything for me. I'm like, that looks normal. It's
Yeah.
only when they're on like a senior citizen when I'm like, that's fucking weird, yo.
guy.
I applaud braces. Like, hey, you're straightening your teeth.
The
It's
principal of
fucking
my
good for
high
you.
school had braces when he was like 65. And we were like, what the fuck, fool?
He's like, bro, I'm on this new dating app.
In 2005.
Trying to get bitches, bro.
Tinder for
Tinder,
grandpas.
yeah, no.
Tinder for
It was
grandpas.
Match.com, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, that
or what was
was
the other one? There's like a
Harmony,
yeah,
eHarmony.
eHarmony.
I
That's
don't even
the
think
one.
that shit was around in 2005, was it?
No,
I don't
those
know.
were the
It's been
pioneers.
around for a long. It's been around from like when the internet almost started.
Yeah, that stuff was real.
And
Yeah.
back then, it used to be like you were like really desperate if you were online dating.
And all subscription
Yeah.
based.
yeah,
There's no free
you
accounts.
had to pay like
Yeah.
$20 a month.
Yeah, I was in high school, so it was all good.
Yeah.
I
That
did
was
not
fine.
need computers. Like, there's 3,000
Yeah.
girls in front of you.
So
Go
none
for
of you
it.
have ever been on blind dates? Like
Nah.
no one's ever been like,
Nothing
hey, let me
official.
like hook you up with a friend.
No.
In fact,
I've had my friend Katie who left today, who I actually gave a hug to. Like a really gnarly
Congrats.
hug.
Gross.
Dude, it was a really, it was a fucking, because she was like, I want to hug before I leave. And I was like, because I
she
refused to hug her.
wanted 3 before you left, I thought.
She did. I gave her 2. I gave her 2.
Okay.
I gave her 1 last night. So
I
it's
do
fine.
kind of like if I have a crush on a guy, and then I'll be like, can I have a hug just to see what his dick feels like. Yeah.
So you
What?
you like
So if I
push
do,
your
if
pelvis
I am,
into her?
no, you just
Him? Sorry.
more often than not, they like will hug you tight enough where you're like, oh, I know what your dick feels like.
Really?
Like if I am like, that's how you'll know. Like if
That's
I'm like,
super creepy.
I gotta make sure it's a half mast.
I'm a
Next
creep-
time I give
I'm-
someone a hug.
Oh, dude. I'm like 23% right now. I'm not hug worthy right now.
yeah.
I'm for sure a creep.
Like,
yeah.
Give me a second.
But it's like
Hold on,
if
let
you
me
do
think.
like
Yeah.
especially sometimes like even on accident because it's like I hug my guy friends or like some of them I have like a lot of love for and like sometimes if you're hugging someone like chest to chest as like man and woman you do feel their dick.
Like,
I don't know.
I've literally never
I
thought
don't
about
know.
that
Yeah.
once.
I would hope
I
they
don't.
didn't.
I mean unless you guys are doing like the hips out which happens too but
It's
again if
always
you're like
just
chest
the
to
one
chest
arm, you
it's
know?
like dude I feel your dick and sometimes you set it up that way so you can be like do I like this guy I don't
I
I
had
mean
no
all dicks
idea.
are great dicks
Like,
but
What did you say? What are dicks? What are
all
good
dicks are great dicks.
Oh,
All dicks.
okay.
All of them are
Okay.
great. But like, if you're ever kind of like, I wonder what I'm in for.
I think the only time I've ever had that was like, I was dancing with this girl
creepy.
that I like.
Yeah.
I've,
I'm
like,
a
I was
creep.
today's years old when I found
I
out.
feel
dude,
like-
that's exactly
That's
right.
like-
That's exactly
That's sexual
right.
harassment,
Dude,
dude.
I've literally-
That's
dude,
like
Yeah.
me feeling your boobs secretly. Like, when
Well,
I'm
yeah,
like,
I was
like, oh,
thinking.
let's
I was
hug.
thinking. You feel your boobs.
Well,
when,
Hey,
like, you
but
hug.
you know what happens when we hug a girl, though?
You feel their boobs.
No, fuck their boobs. No.
No.
It's all about like their hips and their waistline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But that's
yeah,
the same
yeah.
thing essentially. You're just
Yeah.
seeing what that person's
Yeah, but
working
it's not
with.
their. It's
It's
way
different though.
less than the.
It's different though. It's not their
Whoa.
private parts. It's
Yeah.
their shape.
Well,
It's-
that's the point that I was gonna get to is dancing. Like
I also the smells.
dude,
I like the
yeah, the
yeah,
smells
people
are
got
good.
smells.
smells are good. The,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hair
that's
and
right.
like the
Yeah.
neck.
But dude, the
smell.
dancing is where it's at though, because like I was dancing with a friend of mine, and we were super drunk, and I remember dancing with her, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dancing with her, and I was like feeling around it, like not feeling around, but we were dancing, and I was just like, oh shit, this is not okay. And then like I remember like we like turned around and we're dancing some more, and then like I fucking had to walk away, and I was super drunk, and I went and found Ray Ray, and I was like, yo, we gotta go, I'm too drunk. And then so you like
Mr.
whatever.
Burgundy, you have a massive erection.
Don't act like you're not impressed. No, but what was funny is that I brought it up to this person, and this person was like, hey, did like how drunk were you the other night? I was like, I was pretty drunk. I was like, how drunk were you? She was like, I was pretty drunk. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and not to sound weird, but I was like, damn, I gotta stop dancing with you, because I was like, oh my god, I realized I'm dancing with her. She's like, no, I was thinking the exact same thing. This is kind of weird, like I'm dancing with you. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I gotta go. And then that was it. It was like that's when it's like kind of awkward. Like I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was dancing with this girl. It's so awkward.
Gross.
I know. I'm like, was that?
I
on
think
started
topic?
getting all
actually-
hot.
I mean, I feel like it was on topic. I feel like it was weird. It
I
was just
started
like
getting hot and I had to run away. I don't know what's going on.
I think
He's
that's
like-
where like the cutest little things are. Like in person, I like meeting someone dancing. Like if
See,
you don't know that
that's
person,
what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Like when you meet somebody in person, it feels way better. Like just like when you're on a dance floor and you're just like, oh, you just kind of start dancing with somebody. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, and like.
That's
you dance
one of
with
my
100 people that
favorites.
night, but that one person you link with, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right, we're dancing all
Because
night.
you can know if you have a shared vibe dancing.
And then the lights
Yeah.
will turn on, and you guys are
Yeah.
sweating and just mixing your sweat. Lights turn on, you're like, all right, that was so much fun. Later, like that's like the coolest thing for me. We used to do that a lot when we were like 21, 22.
oh, dude, all the time. Yo, me and this fool were wing, man. Dude, remember the night we went to PV? The night that I knocked over the fucking. Yes,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
We went to the bar, and I literally just like I got like an influx of cash that day, and I was like, bro. go to the bar and just fucking buy us drinks. And that whole night we were getting turned in PV. It was
Dancing.
so
It was great.
fun, just dancing with all these random girls, and then just like
That's
Derm got
the-
super fucked up. That was super funny.
You got super fucked up. What are you talking about? You fucking, me? What? Anyways. Dancing and like the smells and like just being around somebody.
You're very into like the intimacy of like being into someone.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
Cancer.
you like really intimate. Like, oh, I'm a Cancer, and I'm not. I like that.
Yeah,
But you said you have Leo tendencies because you're on the.
Well, I'm the
on
I'm the last day of my Venus, Mars, and something else isn't.
Yeah, I'm July 2nd. I'm right up in there.
Oh, I'm July
baby.
22nd. So you're like very yeah. I get it.
I'm all like emotional and crying.
Yeah, what a crybaby bitch.
That's right.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Cry all
I'm
the time.
kidding. I'm kidding.
It's good for your fucking
It feels so
respiratory.
good. Unlike me, I just push it down,
Are you a
down.
Virgo?
No, I let
way
it out
down.
by myself though.
He's an Aries.
I push it
Well,
down in front of everybody.
I dated
I
a
can't even have this
21-year-old who was an
conversation.
Aries, and that was real weird.
I can't have this.
Wait, when did you have a 20? Wait, when did you?
It was
date
kind of an
21-year-old?
accident, a little bit. It was an accident.
Wait, but how long ago?
She's
was
like,
this?
I didn't realize he was 21, but then
Like
I
a year
kept
ago.
dating him after the fact.
Wait, well,
That's
no.
why. That's why I didn't stop hanging out with the girl we took to Mexico. So I found out. I was like, ¿Cuántos años tienes? And she was like, 22. And I looked at Ray. I was like, 22. And I was like,
I was like, checks out.
can't.
I don't think.
That's why I got out of my last relationship.
That's why she's so, full of zest and life.
No, not true. Because there's like other people who are our age who are like.
No, it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
Yeah, she was fun.
It's a little
Yeah.
more manufactured.
I was like, it's totally not.
Go
the
on.
same.
Go on about your
Sorry.
story with your young dude.
I think I'm okay.
All right, cool.
No, it was I was on a. This is weird. There was a guy that I knew back in the day from when I used to work downtown, and there was always like an on and off thing, and like he kind of dogged me like a couple times, and I was like, bro, I'm good. Like you're not even the hoe anymore. Like get out of here. Well, then he would always try to match me on the dating apps, and then one day like I matched him back, and I was like, knock it off. Like you have my number, you have my Instagram. Like if you are interested in this, like be a gentleman and like court me properly, but also know that I'm way not interested because of the 2 occasions that we had previously. And then he's like, okay, my bad. Well, then like years later, I get a random text like, is this Amanda? I'm like, yeah, what's up? Who is this? And he's like, this is his name. But I knew like 3 guys with that name. So I'm like, which one?
I like
and he's
that.
just like, oh, he's like, this one, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, cool. He's like, I just moved to North Park. Like, just want to see what's up. Can we go grab lunch? And I'm like, yeah, let's go grab lunch. So we grab lunch. We're hanging out. And then he's like, hey, I'd really like to take you out on a date. I'm like, let's hang out a little more and see what happens. He asked me to go out. He's like, oh, let's go out. He hits me up like randomly. And he's like, let's go out. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm not going to go out tonight. And he's like, oh, I'm at the place you like. And I'm just like, nah, dude, like, I'm not going to go out. And he's like, I'm at Sycamore Den, which is like
Sick.
right next to my house.
Great.
And
Love
I'm just
it.
like,
No tip.
I'll come out for 1 beer, dude. Like 1 beer. I get there for 1 beer, and he has his roommate with him. And I'm like, whatever. Well, then I'm like, my friends are trying to go out, and I'm like, I'm here with this guy and his roommate if you want to come kick it with us. And they're like, yeah, we'll come out. So only one of them ends up coming. And then he's on his dating app while he's invited me to hang out. And I'm like, he's like, oh, this girl lives behind here. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but tell her to come out. And he's like, no. And I was like, honestly, I just saw her walk past here. She was wearing a green dress, like that green dress. And he's like, was she really? And I was like, I swear to God. So he texts her and she's like, yeah, I just walked by there. I was wearing a green dress. So he's like, we're here. Tells her to come to the bar. And I'm like,
But he asked you
he
out.
asked me, this was supposedly us hanging out because he was interested in a date.
I'm super confused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
what the
all
fuck is
confused.
this?
Yeah, dude. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. Well, then my friend shows up. Well, then I creep on some guy outside. Turns out it's a guy I already messed around with, which was a really bad, gross story. And he notices, and he's like, Amanda? And I was like, oh, fuck. I did not know that was you. Well, then he comes over and starts talking to me. And then I kind of like dogged him or whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go grab another beer at this point because now my friend's here. I'm hanging out.
It's all
whatever.
happening.
Yeah. Well, then his roommate's like, oh, I'll buy your beer. And I'm like, okay, you can buy my beer. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm like, hey, I'm going to head out. Original guy is like, I'm going to go home with her. And I'm like, cool. He's like, can you just take my roommate to your house and I'll pick him up later?
What the fuck?
Why?
Because he was going to be at the girl's house around the corner. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. This kid can come kick it.
This guy can't go home by himself? What the fuck?
I honestly don't know. Well, it was me, my friend, and then his roommate. And we're like, okay, that's fine. So we all kick it. And then it's like 2:30 in the morning. And we're like, dude, where the fuck is this kid? So we're texting him. We're calling him. And he's like, I don't have keys to the house. Like, and I was like, it's cool. You can crash on the couch.
Wow.
So he crashes on the couch.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I sleep in the bed. My friend goes home. Wake up in the morning. And I was like, I was going to go to the zoo today. Do you want to go to the zoo?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Because I just like going to the zoo. And he's like, yeah, I'll go to the zoo with you. Because we still couldn't get a hold of the original kid. So we went to the zoo. We hung out. I was like, oh, this kid's cool. And then I just put out to him. And I expected him to, like, leave me alone. But then he wouldn't. And I was like, you can go to the zoo with me whenever I go? I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm babysitting you. Wow. And then I found he was... Well, I found out before I slept with him he was 21. And I was just like, oh, this feels gross.
Dope.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah. It was weird.
I'm like,
if you could see us, all of our jaws are on the floor right now while we're listening to this story.
It's like, wait, what?
It's a weird story because it's like essentially, and that kid still hits me up like, oh, we should, not the 21-year-old. He's moved back home and he's
so lost.
Whatever. But the original kid still hits me up like, oh, like, what's up? How come we didn't work out? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dog? Like, are you kidding
so
me?
fucking oblivious. It's ridiculous.
did you tell me you hooked up with his friend?
He knows. That
Oh.
kid was at my house like every day for like a week. And I was like, to be honest, dude, I can't do it. Like, I'm not interested.
It's fun and all, but whatever.
Yeah, it was fun or whatever.
Dude, consecutive days kill the vibe.
Dude. Yo.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
Especially for like first time meetups, I was surprised you kept hanging out because like sometimes you do have to kill it at that hour to be like, hey, let's save something for like, even if you are getting along
You
with
have
them.
to cool off, right?
Yeah.
From the hangout. But I've had girls go, oh, we're done hanging out? And I'm like, oh.
You should cut it off there.
I'm like, oh, did you still want to hang out?
Well, my particular date, we both got to the beach like 30 minutes before the sunset, and we just plopped down, watched the sunset, and we were still talking, and like just finished our wine. So it felt like it was just the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was dinner time, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go eat something. Are you hungry? You know what I mean? It's dinner time, and I'm going back to North Park. And she's like, yeah, let's keep hanging out. So it wasn't like we went into the wee hours of the night. Like I was home at like before 9.
But do you guys typically try to keep, because I try to keep it, especially first time meeting, to like an hour. Dates, no more than like 3.
I don't know. I don't put a time limit
I
on
definitely
it.
don't put a time limit on it.
No.
It's like, if
I'll
I'm
What's
feeling
your
the girl,
guys' reasoning?
I'll definitely cut the time off if it's the next day and I have to go to work or whatever. If something else is coming, I won't just like let it go over the next day. The next day I'll cut it off that first night.
If it's flowing, if
Yeah.
you know the experience is just naturally continuing on, that's fine. But if it gets to a point where it's like, I'm like, oh, I don't know what we're gonna do next. I think I'm fucking ready to call it a night, right? Then I just call it a night. But sometimes there have been moments where it's just like, cool, we'll grab a drink here, we're having a good time. Now we're fucking at another place, grabbing another drink, having a good time, and maybe we're at another place.
Dude, that's, so it's like to the point, like with that girl that I went to Mexico with, and then we went around all day. Dude, I was like having the best time with her. And it was like, towards the end of the night, I found out she was like super artistic and she could draw really well. And I was like enamored
Well, why
with
can't
that.
you guys find that out over time? Like, don't you feel like
You know
that?
what, honestly, I
No,
wouldn't.
just
I
keep it
wouldn't-
going.
Yeah, if it's
Fuck it,
natural.
why not?
And
Yeah.
not forcing anything.
You're not forcing it.
I feel like the more I hang out with a guy, maybe I just get more comfortable, and then I get a little more like, I get a lot of dudes who are like, I like to roast. Do you like to roast? And I'm like, yeah, I like to roast. We should try that sometime. Like, we should talk shit to each other.
Oh.
And then they're like, okay. And then the longer the date goes, the more comfortable I feel. And then by the end, I'm either getting lectured, yelled at, or like legit, they do not like me anymore. And it's all because I crossed a line
Well,
in
that's
the
just
roasting.
a bad match then, right?
Yeah,
It's
and those
almost
fools
every
are pussies.
time.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
It's like a lot of times. I
You've
had a
been
guy one
roasting us
time
here.
say that I embarrassed him in front of his friends. And I was like,
Well, don't fucking invite me out in front of your
Yeah,
friends.
don't-
that's
a
what I said.
fucking
I'm like, you
dumbass.
invited your friends to our first date.
Yeah, no.
Whose
Yeah,
fault is
that's
that?
not on you. Yeah. No, they're just clearly
That's an
that's why you're
insecurity
still
thing.
single. 'cause
But it's
you found
every
the right
single,
guy.
like almost, like even the dudes that are like, will be cool. Like it's like the longer my dates are, the less likely I am to go on a second date. I keep them like super short and then be like, we're cool. And then typically the longevity is longer and better. But I find like if you have too long of a date,
If I were personally in the situation and I felt like you were about to cross the line or I was getting uncomfortable with your jokes, I would stop it before I got uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah,
all
like,
right.
I wouldn't keep pushing, right?
I'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
we should probably break it off here because I want
Yeah.
to hang out with you again. And it's like, we're getting all revved up.
And
you know what I mean? Like, let's go.
I think within the first few minutes of sitting down with somebody new that you're meeting, you already know, like, whether you're willing to hang out with them for however long it takes,
Yeah.
or whether you've actually put a stop time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So
You're
like,
okay,
Because I've met people
after
where I'm
this-
like,
after this first
I'm
meeting,
gonna have
I'm
a
gonna
beer
go
and
home.
I'm not ordering a second one.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I'm going home after
Yeah.
this location.
Yep, and it's like,
or
that's
be like,
it.
man, I like the sun went down too quick. Like this is
we're vibing.
We're vibing.
Yeah.
We've barely been here, and I'm like super hungry. Like maybe
If a
she
girl
is here.
did cut you off, like if she was like, "Hey, I have to go. It's been 3 hours. I have to go," would you guys be like, "It's deal breaker"?
No, I'd be like later.
not
I'm
at
gonna
all.
play Call of Duty or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. By that mark, I'm probably ready to go too. Where it's like, fuck, we had a good time. But
Yeah, we
like,
did it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 9 o'clock and it's a school night. Like,
Yeah.
So you guys prefer the date to be longer, but they can cut it off and it's gonna
No.
be fine.
No,
No,
it
no,
doesn't
no,
matter.
not at all.
No,
It does
it
not
doesn't
matter.
It's
does
open ended
not
just
matter.
based on the
Doesn't
flow.
matter.
The length of the hangout does not matter, but
No.
you will put.
It's-
I think when you sit down and you go,
It's all situational.
you know,
Like-
you're like, I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna be nice. We'll have a conversation, but I already can tell right away that this isn't gonna work.
dude, my
right?
first Hinge date that I ever went on, it was a catfish. Like I showed up and the girl was like, I went to
Let's
Ballast
talk
Point,
about
Little
catfish
Italy.
stories, though.
Dude, yes.
Yes.
I've never
So-
been catfished.
Oh,
You're
man.
lucky. You're
Yeah.
fucking lucky. I've
Dude.
been catfished so fucking much.
Not the vibe.
No, actually, it was my second date. But like my second date was like the first one. I was so bummed. I met this chick. She was 44. She would put herself
Shut the
as
fuck up.
34. She was not what she looked like
That was
in her
my
photos.
Hinge when I
And then
first got
we were in Coronado. And she fucking like, she's like, yeah, I want to get some food. I was like, okay, cool. We get some tacos.
Coronado, that's already
Dude,
a red flag.
yeah, red flag. And then we fucking, but
Red
I was
as
like, I'm
fuck.
trying to be nice.
Is that a red flag?
Hell
It's a-
yeah!
it's a red and blue traffic flag.
Coronado,
Dude,
get
we
the
fucking
fuck out
well,
of
'cause
here.
we were hanging out on the beach, and then we get food, dude, at some fucking
Says
taco
Trump.
shop right there. No, and it's like fucking, dude, it was like $60 for 2 tacos and 2 beers, and then you know what she did? I'm gonna go to the bathroom while we're ordering, so I had to flip the whole bill, and I was like, dude, fuck this chick, and we fucking ate tacos, and I was like, I gotta go. After it, I was over it. Second date, same thing, catfish. So I was like, hey, where are you sitting? She's like, I'm at the end. I'm in Little Italy and like at the Ballast Point, whatever. She's like, I'm at the end of the block. As I'm pulling up, I look at her. I'm like, oh, this girl is not the
Dude.
girl I thought it was. And I was over it the first thing. But I was like, I don't know if I can be mean or whatever. So I was like,
Dude.
I just sat through it. And in the middle of it, like I was talking to her. We're good. Like whatever. I'm like, already know I'm over this date. And something like she said something. She was like, oh, I've only had one boyfriend, and I made a mistake. I was like ever? And she was like, yeah. And I went, and I was like,
Oh my
I was like, and
God.
she
Oh my
looked at me, and
God.
she was so livid,
Oh.
and she was ordering like little samplers, and then I was like, so do you want to get a drink? And she was like, yeah, I do. She ordered the most expensive beer on the menu and didn't even take a sip.
I would have fucking walked away.
Dude, she didn't even take a sip,
No.
and she fucking had it there. I paid for the bill, and I was like, "Oh, you live in
That's
Little Italy,
so
right?"
crazy.
Dude, she's like, "I live in Little Italy," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was like, "Hey, do you want to ride home? I know it gets kind of sketchy." And she's like, "You're not coming in." And I was like, "I didn't ask that." I was
Yikes.
like, "Do you want me to give you a ride?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Or we can go take a walk at the waterfront." And she's like, "Okay." So I roll a joint. And then I was like rolling another one, and she's like, "What? You don't want to smoke with me?" And I was like, "Yo, it's COVID. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
you, and here's your own personal." I was like, "If anything, I just rolled you your own personal joint.
Yeah,
like,
this
what
is
the
way
fuck?"
cooler.
What are you gonna
Hey,
way
complain?
sicker.
Yeah.
I'll go on a second date with you just
Yeah,
for rolling
you're
me a
like,
joint.
It's got dummy weed.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I rolled her a
I would
fucking
date
J.
you.
Who's
Me,
gonna
man.
complain?
Dude, we walk and we're smoking, and then I take her home, and then as soon as I pulled up, again, she reiterated to me, she's like, "You're not coming up." And I was like, I did, and I literally just looked at her, I was like, "I didn't ask you to come up, and I didn't want to come up, so
Yeah.
can you just get out of the car, please?"
Yeah.
Like, yo,
Your
like,
story reminds me of something, and I'm curious to think what I want to. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Go ahead, finish your story. I'm
no,
sorry,
that was
I interrupted.
it. I left her, and I was like, dude, that was the fucking worst thing ever.
I'm actually terrified of being a catfish. Like I try really hard to make sure my pictures look like me, because I'm like, what if they think I'm not? So I do have like a fear of doing that. However, okay, I had a conversation with a guy one time where he was telling me a story, and he goes, yeah, him and this girl walk into his bedroom, and he's setting up the laptop, and then he turns around and she's naked. And I was shocked.
Setting
I was
up
like,
the laptop for what?
for them to watch a movie, right?
Oh.
They're gonna watch a movie in his bedroom, and he's like, yeah, she got naked, and I was like, why did she get? And he's like, well, we were like, he thought it was normal, and I was like, that's not. I was like, did you guys make out? Was there was there any indication that you wanted her to be
that's
naked?
a little presumptuous.
Is that not right?
Yeah.
Like, isn't
even
that?
though you're in my bedroom, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, and then he was like, no, that's like a very normal thing for men to think is like, if we're walking to my bedroom and we're on a hinge date and then I bring out, like, that's what we're going there to do. And I'm like, I don't think I could ever feel comfortable. Like the guy puts the laptop down, he turns around and I'm naked.
No.
That's not right.
That's not a normal.
That's not normal, right?
That's never
No,
happened.
no.
Not once.
I mean, if you're like making out,
If
and
you had
stuff
already
happen-
established
yeah,
something
like,
and it
there's
was like a
thing.
guy you've been dating, then yeah.
But if there's
or like,
no,
not the first
it's
time.
the first time
Not
you
the
guys
first
walk
time.
into the
Nope.
bedroom. That's not normal, right?
No,
like
it's not.
the 50th time and on, that's normal.
I would say like after a third date, like if you're meeting off Hinge, it's your third date, you've like maybe fooled around, and then you're about to hook up. Like yeah, for sure. Like I
Right.
But
definitely
turn
hooked
around
up.
and you're just naked.
Yeah, no.
No,
Isn't- that's
that's
just-
like in a relationship
It's also
kind of
not
shit.
Yeah.
that hot. Like,
Nah, it's really surprising. And you're just like, oh.
Yeah, like you
I'm
just
not
took all
prepared
the
for
fun
this.
out of this.
yeah, it was such
Dude,
a
I
weird-
like taking a girl's clothes
That's
off.
what I'm saying.
I
the
like doing
best
that.
part.
Yeah.
It's part of the foreplay, you know.
There's
Dude,
a
when
whole-
girls get undressed by themselves, it bums me out. I'm like, dude, let me do that.
Yeah, like what kind of guys are you hanging out with
See,
where
they
you have
like
to undress
the things
yourself?
too, the physical things.
Yeah.
too.
We need to touch.
Need the touches and the
Take-
smell.
Yeah, like there needs to be intimacy
And-
during
yeah.
an intimate moment. But that's like, to me, that was so shocking that he was weirded out that I said it. But then like every time he was like, yeah, no, he would like tell someone I would. Granted, they're comedians, so they're not like the best people to be around, and they're probably just excited they're getting anything.
Were you gonna say any dick?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
you were.
Anything
Not
really.
like the guys are getting
I
married
felt
to
it.
a giant.
Yeah.
They're probably excited to get dick too. They'll take anything, honestly.
Wow.
But I just feel like that was like to me, I would never feel comfortable doing that. And there is like a sexy like. And I know we haven't talked about sex in this. I don't know if dating and sex go hand in hand. But sex is like an experience. Like you should be having like a moment with that person, regardless of like how.
You can't just have it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I couldn't just like if I turn around and some girl is naked in my room, I'd be
Wouldn't
like, oh,
you
what
be
the
weirded
fuck?
out?
I can't do this right now.
Okay,
like,
but would
I
you
need,
still have sex with her?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
It's like,
Of course,
yes, but
I mean,
it's still weird, but
gotta
like
do what you gotta do, son.
It's
where
just like,
preparation meets opportunity.
But yeah, like if it were to go as far as like I'd want it to, I'd be like, whoa, slow the fuck down and like lay down or something.
I would be like, well,
Now that you're
I
naked.
literally would probably say, though, that takes all the fun out of it. Like
Yeah.
I actually would probably be really blunt and be like, damn, why did you do that? Because again, if I'm gonna get naked with a girl like that, I have to be in some relationship where it's like, hey, we're gonna hook up, and like I'm so excited because I've been hooking up with you
It
for
has
so
to like
long.
build.
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
gotta be
yeah.
a
There
real
has to be
attraction
some
too.
sort of build. Like
Yeah.
Is there a difference if she's fully naked versus like in a cute piece of lingerie or like matching
The
bra
course
and
there's
pants?
Yo, the
difference.
lingerie, stop it. I'm
Yeah.
down. Like
that would work
super
every
down.
time.
No,
The
no.
laundry would work
So
because she's clothed.
if she's
She's
clothed,
clothed.
but she's got something sexy
Yeah.
on, you're into that.
Yeah.
Because
Dude,
your
you can still take it off.
imagination
No.
is like the driving force here.
I'll tell you what,
right?
an ex-girlfriend of mine did something super sexy that she's the only one who's ever done it for me. Was we were in OB, we were having drinks, and like, you know, she was my girlfriend or whatever, so she's like sitting, like I had my legs around her, I'm facing her this way, but she's like facing that way, and like I was kind of like had my arms around her, and I was like rubbing her back, and I'm like, there's like a strap that I was feeling on her back. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that strap right there?
Like your bra is really low.
I was like, and I lift up her shirt. I was like, what is that? And like I look, and it's like red lingerie, and I was like, is that lingerie on? She's like, and she looks at me, she's like, I missed your birthday, so I wanted to make sure it's for something. I was just like,
Damn,
I
what a
was,
win.
and she like looks at me, smiles, and I was just like,
You're all, oh my god.
this
Yeah,
is
that's hot.
so
Like,
sick.
we are cashing out right now.
I was
So
just
you
like,
get it.
hey,
Yeah,
way
Yeah,
to
no, I
go.
get it.
Like,
Well, and that's where I'm coming from, but I'm like, is this something where, is there like a misconnection here? Because I like to be who I am, and I think I get, like, I put on my dating profile, I'm like owning a cat when you're dating me. Because it's like, I don't really need a lot of attention. When
I've
I
seen
want
that
it, I'll
on
go.
a couple of profiles,
Yeah, like
by
I'll be
the
like,
way.
hey, can you look at me, but don't touch me? But look at me. And then I'm like, okay, thank
Damn.
you, bye.
That's
Dude,
my
and
cat.
then-
You're the
My cat embodies all that.
Dude, you're the second girl. Katie, who left today, she was like, when I hook up with a guy, she was like, I don't want to cuddle afterwards. She's like, you've already touched me. She's like, I maybe will talk to you afterwards, but like, just go sit on the couch and like, we don't have to cuddle, but just kind of sit there.
I don't like to cuddle, but I like to lay next to each other and talk. Like I like to like be in the bed together, but I don't want to cuddle. But sometimes I will. If it's cold outside, I'm like, let's cuddle. But if it's hot, I'm like, hey,
Very
just
cat-like.
talk to me over there. Yeah, like it's very like my friends find it hilarious. They're like,
Leo.
you are very much like a cat. Like you're
Leo.
everything you are.
I actually
yeah.
asked the girl when I saw that. I said, "What?" I was like, "How is dating you like dating a cat? Like I've never dated a cat, so explain this one to me." And that's pretty much
I may have been that girl.
the explanation that she gave me. Maybe it was you. I don't know.
It probably was.
I think I unmatched her after I got the response. I was like, now I know.
Yeah, so like to me that's how I conduct myself, like especially like anything like sexual, anything like dating. Like if I am interested in a person, like there's a lot of it's like I'm proactively part of that. Like I'm like, hey, let's do stuff you like to do. Like I want to surprise you, I want to do things, and a lot of that does come with sex. But then I was like, am I not hitting the mark here because I'm just supposed to show up naked in the bedroom?
No,
No,
Like,
you're
I'm
not
just
supposed to
like-
do that.
You got to leave some fucking imagination, even in a relationship.
So then,
I feel like
nudes, how does that play out?
I don't do
Different.
that.
Wait, what do you
That's-
mean?
That's
Like
a
if
totally
someone's
different
sending you
vibe.
nudes?
That's a
I
totally
mean,
different vibe.
I
when you're
want
like-
I want interested shit. Like when I was in Tahiti earlier this year, and I was with my ex girlfriend. She literally wouldn't send me nudes. She'd send me pictures of herself. But the best picture she ever sent me was like, she says, "I miss you terribly," and then she sent me a picture of her little tiny dildo in her hand, and it was right next to her like her thing, and I was like, it's pretty much the hottest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, this is fucking tight. No nudes.
You gotta
I don't
be
need
classy.
nudes.
Be
Yeah.
I
classy
want to like
about it.
picture their hand. I miss you terribly. And be like,
I don't.
Gross.
The text was a little much. She could have just sent the photo.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A picture says, 1,000 words.
No, but we were talking. She's like, "I miss you terribly," and then it was like a little bit more blah blah blah, and
I
then
get
the
it, I
photo.
get it.
So I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is tight."
Nah.
Yeah, getting nudes as opposed to like just turning around and there's a naked girl in your room. That's way
do you
different.
prefer to get nudes before the first time you guys hook up, or do you prefer?
No.
No, absolutely not.
You want,
No
like,
way.
the first time through person?
Dude, if you're
no.
sending me nudes already, like thumbs
You ain't
down.
the
What about
one.
like cute
Yeah.
nudes? Like
No,
what about like just
no,
like
No,
everything's
it's not
covered, but
zero.
it's
It's
No.
not gonna
you don't
work.
want anything.
In
No.
fact, if your profile has you, like if you have too many bathing suit photos in your profile, I'm already over
You're
you.
thirsty, man. I don't
Yeah,
want
I'm already
that.
over you.
so
Because
And-
every
and-
guy, you want attention. Every
No.
guy's gonna be out there. You're
I
for
don't
the streets.
care. Yeah,
You're
like
for the streets.
I don't need that shit. Like, and if your Instagram is just like you have to, and like I get it, you have a great body, let's say, right? Or maybe you just have the confidence in yourself to just show yourself off like that all the time. Dude, that's not my thing. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
Yeah.
got to be
But it-
classy.
Yeah, it's like there's a way.
So
different
you don't
version
want
of classic.
anything like sexy, flirty before the sex?
I'm the girl next door kind of guy,
Well-
so I don't need that shit.
It gets to a point where like when you're like talking to somebody and you've been dating them like 2 or 3 times. Hey, stop. That you've been dating them like 2 or 3 times that you're like, we're probably gonna have sex the next time we're gonna see each other, and like you could both feel that tension. You're like, oh, let's hang out. We want to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by that time, maybe you can like send something sexy, but even then, a nude would just be like, nah.
Nah,
Like,
I'd
what
rather
do
you say something kind of nasty. To me.
Yeah, that'd be way
That's
better.
cool, and just let me fucking.
Are you
take
guys
it
into
out.
like the sexting before
No.
the actual
No,
sex?
that's
no,
really
no.
gross.
That's not
really
what I'm
gross.
saying,
Like
but-
one thing. Say one.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. If you're like, fuck, I really want
Yeah,
you.
like,
to do
one
something.
thing is chill,
Yeah, yeah.
but if
One
it's
thing
like-
that I
Yeah.
can't even respond to, that I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah,
I just think about that all day.
Yeah.
That's way hotter
yeah.
than
Less
any
is
nude.
more in this
Yeah.
area.
Well, I do. That's how I conduct myself, but I wasn't sure if like maybe I was doing the wrong
No,
thing.
I like
no, no,
nudes.
no, no.
I like I've had like if you send me like when I was first dating like this one girl, she would just send me like a picture of her, like a selfie, like her going to work, and I was like, dude, she's hella cute. And then there would be like I love that. And then like
Yeah.
when
So
we
you
started
guys
getting
do like cute, like little extra.
Yeah.
But
like,
no,
images
that-
and stuff
that-
Like this
dude.
is me doing my thing right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay.
I'd be like, send me a picture of you right now, because she was working. She worked at a restaurant, and she was like, I'm at work, and I was like, send me a picture, and she would be her smiling, and it was like, I love that. I don't need anything else, like simple, like just let me see your face.
just seeing you.
Just seeing you
Yeah.
is all I need.
Do
But
you
then,
guys think this comes with age? Because when you were young, like in your 20s, was that different?
No.
no.
No, I've
So
always-
just like character.
I feel like I've
Dude,
always been
I
this
want
way, yeah.
somebody who's I've never been into like these girls who are like all about themselves and like look at me. Like I want a girl who's like a
huge
little bit
turn on.
harder.
Mm-hmm.
Like you fucking, it's like a little bit harder to get to you. You have your own shit going on. Like you're a boss. Like fucking do you. You got a good job. You doing it. But then after you hook up, if you get like these, like damn, I'm so attracted to you type things, and like send like I had one girl who sent me like. She is like, I'm coming to see you at the fights, and I was like, tight. And then she sends me like a photo. She's like, I'm wearing this tonight, and she took like her top and she put it right here, and I literally just saw the under part of her boob, and I was like, oh my god, this is so hot. Like you're so fucking sexy. That's dope. And then there's
so once
sometimes
the once it's already established, that
yeah,
there's,
like
you
once
guys
we're like
got sex.
we're
actually-
together,
even
we're
then-
like hanging out, but then she would send me like towards the end, like or not at the end, but like towards like the middle of it when we're like we've said I love you to each other and all these things, she would like open her bra, the same mirror where like she would send me pictures of her going to work. She was like side like this and then turned, and then it was like her boob was out. I was like, oh my god, like this is super hot. And then like she started sending nudes. So it was like, okay, that's fine. Like,
got it.
But it's like
even the nudes, like even when you get them, you're like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. But if she sends like a really classy, sexy one, say she's like works at a bank. You know,
Yeah.
she's like, look at my cute outfit I'm wearing to work for no reason, and she sends you that. That's like way hotter than a nude.
yeah, if
Really?
you look hot,
Yeah.
if you look
Way
hot in
hotter.
your
That's
work
true.
clothes,
Really?
you
Way
look
hotter.
super sexy in your work clothes. That's hotter than a nude because
And-
like I already know what you look
Wow.
like.
And you
naked.
feel
That's
cute.
really exciting to know.
And you
It
feel
is.
cute, and you just prompted like, I felt cute, so I sent you this, my cute outfit, boom, and you're just at work like,
You know why else? You know why else that's so great is because they're thinking of you and they wanted to send you a photo of themselves,
yeah.
and that for some reason is a win.
yeah.
And when
Because
the
they're
nude,
doing
the
that
nude
for
is
you.
like, it's
Yeah.
too vulnerable or something. It's almost like guys like the chase.
Yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah.
all guys like the chase.
Once
know
you
what
have
I
the
mean?
nude, it's like right
The
there.
nude
it's
is
yours.
like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a
Yeah.
wounded animal. You can just walk up and eat. You know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, I'm hungry. Of course I'm gonna eat it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's great, but I like hunting for that motherfucker and chasing him down and be like, yeah.
That's why it's like saying if you hook up with the chick on the first date, she's for the streets. man.
I had no intention. I wouldn't have hooked up with that chick, even if
Yeah.
she was like, "Can I come in your house?" I'd be like, "Nah." You know, I would have never hooked up with her. I
We'll
couldn't.
never know.
You can keep hooking up with them, obviously, but that's not a girl that you're gonna like meet.
That's
meet
not
your
the girl.
friends. That's not
That's
the girl.
not the
That's
girl.
not sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
Unless it was like a magical date where like it just kept going organically and long.
Yeah,
because
because you guys are saying a lot of things
It had
here
to
where
be
it's like you guys
magical.
want to hold a girl captive on the date forever and then make them feel special,
No. We
but
never
then they
said
might
that.
put
No,
out.
we never said
No,
that.
that's what you guys said.
No.
That's what you
No,
guys
no, we
never
did
said.
not.
No.
No,
we
but
did
you
not.
guys don't say that. But that's how I'm telling you from a woman's perspective. If you're spending that much time with me, I'm feeling comfortable and vulnerable with you, so it's gonna allow me to open up to you and then be like, maybe I could have sex with this person. Because bitches have needs too, dude. I haven't had sex in
Hey, it's
almost a
two-way
year.
It's a two-way
And so then there's a
street.
thing where it's like sometimes I'm like, I just feel
Okay.
comfortable with this person. I'm just gonna hang out with them. They want to hang out with me hours and hours on end. I'm just gonna put out this bitch.
No,
but that
no,
doesn't
no,
mean
no,
I'm
no.
for the streets. It just means I didn't respect you.
No,
Imagine
that's
this.
not true because
It
when I
is
hung out
true.
with that girl,
Because
when I hung out with
why
that
can
girl,
you be comfortable and vulnerable with somebody and then not have sex with them on the
Yeah.
first
You
date?
can, but like I said, sometimes bitches have needs. Like sometimes we want to get it in too, but it doesn't make us for the streets.
No, but that's but you just said something that was incorrect. Where like we have no intentions of holding anyone captive.
Yeah.
We want to leave.
No, that was an exaggeration.
We
but
want-
I'm saying
we
like
want-
that's what how a woman feels. Where it's like if you guys want, like
I hear what you're
You know what I
saying.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you're spending more and more and more and more time with us, and then we're like, okay, I wasn't planning on putting out to you, but like.
But he's cool.
But
we're
he's
vibing,
cool. We're
having
vibing.
a
I'm
great
comfortable.
time.
He's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna murder me. He's already at my house. Like, bro, I might as well.
He's already
I
at
might
your
as well.
I mean, that's
it's fair
fine.
point. Yeah, no,
But that's
fine.
a
That doesn't
compliment.
make-
That's a
yeah.
two-way street. That's
Fair
like
point.
you agreeing with that.
Oh,
situation.
100%.
It's
But
not
wait.
like
But then
you
to
being
say
forced.
like,
But
oh,
you-
that's for the
but-
streets.
No,
like,
but wait. To be fair,
Yeah.
the night with the Mexico and like hanging out with her till like 2 a.m, I was like, dude, am I gonna like kiss this chick? Are we gonna hook up? We went back to my house. Her car was parked at my house, and as soon as I was like, "You just gonna go home?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go home." I was like, "Okay, cool." Walked her to her car, and like the girl fucking gave me one of those hugs, and like immediately turned her head, like just super turned her head. I was like, "Oh."
Just to make sure.
She does
Yeah.
not want to kiss me. She does not want to hook up with me. So I was like, yo. So I don't think that's a fair point because I think some girls just want to hang out. They literally
Oh, 100%.
Some guys do too.
But who
Yeah.
knows if she didn't do that because she wasn't interested and she went and fucked some other dude that night that
Maybe
she
she
just
did.
met. And she could be for the streets too. I'm just saying like to sit and be like, oh, if they put out the first night or if they act a certain way due to like whatever, it has nothing really to do with you guys. It's more about like what we're experiencing, what we want from the date.
Yeah, that's when it becomes in the girls' court. Like the guy can't make that decision at the end of the day. Where like me, for example, last night I would have totally ended the date like I did and been like, hey, just drop me off. I'm walking back home.
Yeah.
I have no intentions of having sex with you. I literally met you 3 hours ago. Like, I'm not even like the chemistry in my brain isn't even ready to do that with a stranger yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever. But if it was like, if like dinner was super cool and we just kept getting loose and she's like, let's go to Lancers or something, and I was like, and I was down, I'm like, let's go play pool, and like shit just started happening. Like that's a two-way street where we're both like
Right.
mutually like just being there. But
Yes.
I wouldn't be
But
like.
I'm just saying,
I
more
wouldn't
often
co-
than not, I could easily take most men home after my first date, even
Well,
after an
but
hour.
you're a
But you're a
woman.
girl.
Right, and so then are you all you bitches for the streets?
No.
That's all I'm saying.
But say after dinner, my date.
What
last
we're
night-
saying is don't expect him to hit you up on the next day.
Yeah.
I don't want him to.
Oh.
I don't want him to.
Oh,
but that
then-
isn't. But I'm saying like that doesn't make me for the streets.
If my-
that just means I like the respect goes both ways.
For sure.
Like if I fucked you on the first night, I probably didn't really. I wasn't interested in really keeping you around. I
But
just
see,
needed to fulfill a need.
Exactly.
I hooked up with the Instagram influencer, and within like maybe like one drink in, she was like feeling on me and doing these things. And then we went back to my house, did our thing, and then like she was like, I don't do this. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then like we fucking like did her thing. I dropped her off, and then like I hung out with her a couple more times, hooked up a couple more times, and I was like,
That's all it is.
This is it. And but then I also went out on a date with this girl, and she literally told me, I was like, she's like, so I really want a boyfriend, and I was like, okay, cool. And she was like, and I was like, why is that? And she's like, well, do you see some of my photos here? Like, she's like, I have like 44,000 followers. She was like this makeup influencer chick, and she was like, I just really need somebody to shoot photos for me. And I was like, okay.
But what make so
Human tripod.
Dude.
Which
No,
is-
she already had a tripod. She's like, I shoot all these on tripods.
Human.
a human tripod? is what he said, yeah.
Human tripod. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like,
And she's back on
there's
the
like a
apps now.
negative idea of like, oh, if the woman puts out to you, like, it really, again, it's not, it doesn't make her any different or less or better of a person.
I was
City
not.
boys.
Same thing with the boy. Yeah, city boys are hoes. Like,
City
men are hoes.
boys.
I'm just saying, if you are like, there's the for the streets thing, you could say it both ways. Like, you guys could easily say for
men
the
are
streets
hoes
about
too.
the kid who brought another girl on the date. You know what
Dude,
I mean?
that's
Like,
mad
I'm
weird.
for
not
the
saying
streets.
men are not hoes. They
That
are
was-
for the streets.
I'm just saying the only time you said for the streets is for women.
Okay, well, let me
So-
reiterate.
Well, that's because we're not dating men.
yeah, we're not dating
Sure,
men.
but-
Say the men are for the streets. You
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead,
on
you're
you.
better than the
I
women.
am, but all of you are right here like, well, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. Yeah, both of us are on this fucking street. We're all on the streets in this bitch.
But what you guys,
Are we all single still? We all on the
We're
motherfucking
all
streets.
single, yeah,
yeah,
we're all-
exactly.
I'm just saying.
when a date
in
goes
my-
far,
The only one who's out for the streets is this kid right here. He seems like the nicest
Oh,
guy
no,
ever.
Oh, I'm nice, but fuck.
Okay.
He's for the streets though, for sure. We're both for the streets. We've
I'm a
definitely.
This guy's for the alleys over here.
Dude, he's for. I mean,
No,
shit.
it-
He's for TJ. That's what he is.
a date reaches a certain point where obviously a guy wants to hook up with a girl every time, and when it crosses a certain line, like say we go to the beach, like we'll just use my date from yesterday as an example. Say I went to the beach. We went to the beach and we went and had dinner. Say dinner, she was like, I want to keep hanging out with you. Like her idea, not mine.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be like, well, my alarm clock's going off and I got to go home. I would be like, yeah, let's just keep it rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm down if you're down. you know?
Depends.
It depends. But like, if you're
It's
into
all
her,
relative, right?
If you're into her, you'll be like, yeah, I'm super down to hang out. You know what I mean? This-
Yeah, you're willing to suffer the evening and wake
Yikes.
up late and
Yeah.
start your day shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's for the streets.
Yeah,
Dude, I'll
But-
tell you what. If I
but
really
she
like
is
a
gonna
girl-
end up on the streets.
I will say, if I really like a girl and I'm like feeling her, I will like, I'll leave like some.
But that's what I was trying to refer to earlier when I was like, the date should leave something to be desired, right? Like if you really like someone, you really want to focus on, it's like, hey, let's continue hanging out in a different. Let's hang out in the daytime at the zoo. Let's go get drinks. Let's go have different
The zoo.
experiences. Let's go. You know what?
We
For a long,
obviously know.
for a
Clearly
long
that's
time.
Good for you.
Guys for Lucey, 30 days with it is.
No.
You want to get in there?
Get that annual zoo pass.
Yeah.
Take her to the zoo.
I
She's
literally
not for the
used to
streets,
have
she's
the
dating 30
end.
dudes
I'm
in
for
30
the
days.
fucking
Zoo.
what's that little thing that the Skyfari? I'm for the Skyfari, guys.
The tram.
No, I used to. That was my thing for a long time because I used to have the pass where you could bring someone with you. So I would just be like, "Have you ever been to the zoo?"
Shut the fuck up.
No, I would to every do, and then I just buy him a beer. We'd walk around the zoo, and then I'd dip out.
Damn.
Yeah, every time.
You're cut different. Like you're cut
Yeah,
from a
you
different
are.
cloth.
It was a nice little setup. But
You're
then
kind
they
of
got
like a dude. To be
I am.
honest.
I have
She
a lot of yeah.
She knows the zoo grounds too, so she knows how to like lose
Yeah,
them around.
like I'll be like,
the
oh, what's
corner.
your favorite
That's me
animal?
at SeaWorld.
Ain't gonna
right
fucking
there.
catch me after
She's
this.
like, if the date's going well, I go to like the panda.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
if I'm not feeling this guy, I go to the rhino.
Elephant
and I'm like,
Odyssey.
What the fuck over there?
Reptiles
No,
are
I
right
would
up front, right
like
there.
right off the bat. I'd be like, "Oh, what's your favorite animal?" And then we would just like go walk there, and then be like, "Let's hit the tram," and then we would just like kick it.
She like lets him go
Yeah.
off on the tram by himself. Deuces.
She's like, I'm gonna I lost him at the zoo.
Buy him a
It's like-
sweatshirt.
Well, that's expensive. Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
like a $45
My
sweater.
buddy and I once got a BJ from a chick on the sky ride there. It was really tight.
At the same
At
time.
the- yeah, I was gonna say
together?
the
Yeah, at the same time.
Was that Hodge?
What?
No.
Hold on, was she like stroking one of you off while she had the other in her mouth?
She was going back and forth. It was pretty cool.
Oh, it was just like
was
one,
pretty
two,
cool.
one,
I mean,
two.
we were sitting on opposite ends, and she would like.
Really?
It was
Was
really dope.
was your dick
streets.
getting cold when it was just kind of
It
waiting
was
for her,
summertime. It was
like
super
flopping
dope.
in the wind?
I had shorts on and shit, and I just like pulled them up. I didn't even have to take my pants off. So.
Wow.
I kind of. Do you guys have kinks?
Duh, we're
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
dudes. Oh my god.
100%.
You know, all the normal
Streets.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you have an outdoor kink, clearly, like a
No,
public
that
kink.
just happened outdoors, but having sex outdoors is tight. Having the
Yeah,
sun
it
on your
is.
dick
Yeah.
is it's dope.
I don't-
Fresh
Well, you
air.
just do the sunset thing. You got head at the Skyfari.
I live in
you
San
got-
Diego. You know what I mean? The head thing was not my idea. It was hers. I was just there like, whoa, what the fuck?
I was just
It was
there.
my homie's girlfriend. It was my homie's girlfriend.
That's fucked up.
Really? And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
It was her idea.
But it was her. Was she okay with it being her idea?
it's
And then
so
the homie was
confused.
like, "Yeah, no, that's totally
That's my
fine."
bro. That's my bro.
It's the homie.
It's my
It's
bro.
the homie.
That's my
I
bro.
know these guys.
We were born like 11 days apart. That's my bro.
That feels
Nah.
creepy.
It was amazing.
Nah.
You know what? That it was
I'm
Trust
not-
me,
I'm not the sharing
the
type.
shit that he does, like, yo, he's told me, I'm like, what?
Okay,
Okay.
so what's your favorite kink or what's your favorite weird sex story? Other than getting head in the Skyfire. No, I don't even.
That's a pretty
You already
good
have
one.
yours.
Yeah, that's a
What's
pretty
yours?
good
You
one.
haven't even got to
I
talk
had
that
never
much.
even
Yeah,
told
Ray
her.
Ray, let's
What's
go.
your
About you,
kink?
Ray
What's your,
Ray.
yeah, because you're for the calle.
Para la calle.
I didn't even tell
In
her.
Espanol.
You know, just the normal stuff. You know,
One-on-one.
Little-
missionary with
I'm
the
like,
lights
this is
on.
so boring.
you know,
No.
a little choking is always nice.
It's pretty
You know,
gross.
I think choking is pretty basic.
Pretty
So
standard.
yeah,
we'll
it's like
start
pretty
there.
normal.
Yeah, there you go. You know,
Like the top layer choking, like not like
just
straps
like
and fucking
no,
other
it's more like you know, just some like
hands.
good weight into
Yeah, yeah.
to the throat. You know, not actually fucking.
So
Yeah,
then you don't
it's
really
more
have like a
activity.
kink.
No, I've got normal stuff.
I really like group things.
Oh,
You like group stuff?
See, I'm not into anything like that.
Shit's quiet.
I'm
It's
not-
been
I'm-
since we were like in our early
I'm
20s.
not
He would
into
tell me some
that,
stories, and
nah.
I was like, what? I was
One
like,
time, me and my
bro.
buddy did 6 chicks at one time, and it was insane.
Well, that's
Just
different.
me and one other dude.
I mean,
and
that's
6 girls.
that's different.
That was probably the craziest.
That's
thing.
So
different.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 girls have to like just hang out with girls.
Oh, we were all hanging out the whole time.
No, I know, but like essentially, like if a girl's on your face, a girl's on there, then he has a girl on face, and there 2
Dude.
girls are just hanging out.
No, 2 girls
until
are
they
fucking each
rotate.
other, I
Yeah,
imagine.
that's what I'm
Dude,
saying. Until
you
they
can get
rotate.
you can get your balls sucked by 2 girls while a girl is riding you, and like a girl, like 2 girls.
Yeah,
are
but the
making out
girls
with
who
you
are sucking your balls aren't necessarily having like they.
while they're getting banged by the other dude. It was crazy as fuck.
Oh yeah, because I guess he has hands and stuff.
Yeah.
It was
Hands,
wild.
Yeah.
dicks,
No, that does
tongues.
make a lot of sense.
It's just a big pile of.
I just
people.
thought like while you guys were doing a thing, which you probably did at one point, like 2 girls would have to like hook up. Not that there's
yeah,
anything
there was
wrong
like
with that,
a bunch
but
of girls making out at times. There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
times when we just had them like lined up, and we were just like going down the line. They were sitting next to each other or kneeling or whatever.
that's
It was crazy, like a movie. It was insane.
yeah,
Damn,
It was
that sounds
really-
fun.
kind of jealous.
Pretty
It was
yeah,
really
it's
tough.
pretty
I'm all dang.
I don't like that
Those are
beats
the-
any of my stories.
Yeah, I've had the group stuff is pretty fun, but it's not something like I would want to do every time I have sex or like all the time even.
If you ever got like someone you were serious about, would you want them to partake in group sex with you, or would you
I
be
would-
like, "Hey, this is for us now"?
Like 1 in a million. Like,
Like-
let's do something weird.
like, would you want your girlfriend that you're with, that you care about, to suck your homie's dick in front of you?
I would be weird, but if we were together long enough and it was like something
Just
like
a good old
you
dick
have
sucking?
you have a conversation with your significant other, like, what have you done? Blah, 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 blah,
Well,
all
it's
that
like
shit.
5, 6, 7 years in. It feels
Yeah,
like what
you're
do
like,
we might as
let's
well.
get weird and like
Yeah.
say our homies
Nah.
randomly sit like shit happens. I don't know.
I'm gonna veto
I
that.
wouldn't be bummed if like we
Yeah.
randomly got weird one night or like her homegirl was over. We had like me, her, and her homegirl. on the
Yeah,
stuff, or
yeah.
Me or my homeboy.
See, I'm more on that key where it's like if I've been with you for so long, like, what are we doing? Like, might as well.
Yeah, I'm not just trying to have threesomes with every chick I meet and like every dude I hang out with. I like almost have never
He's
asked
hit
this
me up.
dude.
No, he's hit me up twice, and I was just like,
Almost.
So you guys are both like pretty like monogamous. I'm with you. We're with each other. Or are you okay with bringing another girl in, but you're not okay with another guy coming in?
I don't know. It really depends.
yeah, I would say it depends.
It really
for sure.
depends. Yeah.
I'd rather not, but like
I'd
if-
rather not. If I'm
I'd-
in love with the girl, I would definitely be like.
It's not necessary.
I've also the girls
Yeah.
that I've been with,
Yeah.
all of the girls that I've been with, it's just the type of women I attract. Is like, they're very. I don't want to say possessive, but like they're like I don't
Monogamous.
share.
Yeah.
They're like I
Why the
do
fuck is
not
the
share.
waitress giving you more water,
the
bitch?
one
No,
time-
not like that.
That's her
Not like that,
job.
Not like that.
The one
no.
time I was in a relationship where she said to bring in another girl, right? It didn't end well. Like,
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately, usually that's
Yeah,
the
and it was
story.
her idea.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like,
It's
pass. I don't need that.
It's a fun roller coaster. It usually crashes at
Yeah. I was just like, this is now complicated.
Again, it has to be like a really like random thing where like you have to be with somebody.
Yeah.
I think you need to
or
be
you
very,
barely know
like,
them at all.
fluid in your
and-
relationship as well, as far as trust and you know. And we were younger at the time, so I'm sure there was
It's
Yeah.
very
a lot of jealousy
situational.
that came into the
and
play.
I've had several threesomes, I guess, with a couple girls. Never had 2 dudes, 1 girl. Really.
Really, it's a
No,
yes or
I can
no.
count 2
Well,
stories.
technically,
I can
2
count
dudes,
2
1 girl is
stories.
the Skyfari. Like,
Oh, that was
you've
just a
had-
blowjob, though.
Yeah, but it's still. I mean, it's
But
still
that
like
is-
2 men are
Okay,
involved
yeah.
with like 1 woman.
It's happened a couple of times, but the 2 girls, 1 guy thing has happened a lot more, and it's usually like the girls just kidnapped me. You know what I mean? Or like my girlfriend met my
What
friend.
parties are you going to?
It's called the KTA Mansion.
Where's
No, you
the
know,
fucking
can I tell you what it
invite?
is? This guy, his vibe and his demeanor and the way he like women feel super comfortable with him. Like he has a nice voice, the way he talks to women, even the way he's talking about the dating apps. You could tell like you just respect women. You're not threatening at all. You're not really like scary in the sense of like, oh, I feel like this is someone I couldn't trust or be vulnerable with.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So that's why like he's going to and not to say that you two aren't, but there's once in a while you'll meet a guy, and my best friend's like this too, where it's like you're like, oh, I could really feel comfortable doing anything with you and knowing that it's just that and not something like that I'm going to have to either like you and me are going to get attached, or if we do get attached, I'm going to regret it, or like there's like men that on occasion they'll give you this feeling of like you understand me as a woman. And you have that, which is probably why a lot of women are comfortable having that.
Perhaps, maybe.
that second or third join.
Yeah, I was maybe because I live with my dad's always been around. He still lives in La Mesa.
Yeah.
But I've lived with my mom and my sister. I have an older sister.
It's
So
a lot of times it's
That's
like if
how
you
I
have a
grew
lot of
up.
sisters and
that
a lot
probably
of.
contributes
Dude,
to
I
it.
was surrounded by women. My
Yeah, that's
grandmother,
how I
my
grew up.
mother, like, I wasn't around males.
But
I
you
was,
say for the streets a lot doesn't make women feel super nice.
Oh,
And
no,
you
because we're fucking
literally
around.
were
I
like,
don't
I
think
have a
she's
pipeline. That's like one of the first things you said. This guy just came in and was like, hi, hello, how are you doing today? Oh, I went on my first date. Like he presented himself completely differently.
Don't
But
let
Derm-
the facade.
Derm-
Do
Derm
not
is
let
over
the
here.
fucking facade
He's
bully.
Whether
slaying.
he is or he doesn't,
Dude,
whether
no.
he is or he
No, it's
isn't,
bullshit.
the way
No.
he presents himself allows a woman to feel like, yeah, I would be willing to do whatever.
The way I
Thank
present
you.
myself is like, and I've been told this by women and by Ray Ray. He's like, "What the fuck, dude? You're so shut off. Like, you don't even fucking. You give this like asshole vibe." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, 'cause
That's
I don't.
true, though.
It is true, and it's because I'm not
So true.
interested in like pretty much anybody. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
which
it's
doesn't
like-
make women feel like comfortable
you
and
know what?
safe.
I'm-
No, but see, that's not true because all of dude, a
Well,
majority
some
of my
women
friends
love that shit though.
No, stop. Wait.
100.
I would say
They do.
to a lot of like the people that I attract in my life. I don't trust a lot of people, and I definitely don't like. I have a very, very small circle. Like literally, these 2 are like 2 of the 5 people that I like actually fuck with.
That's true.
So, and the other 3 are women, and they fuck with me because I just like. They're like my
There's a
people.
difference between being a guy that you can trust and you feel comfortable around versus like being a guy that you feel like, oh, I could just be like completely a woman myself. Like I'm not. If like let's say, I mean, I'm comfortable with all of you just because of like my demeanor. But let's say I was in a weird situation and like I was with each of you. The one I'm going to feel most comfortable with in that situation, regardless of how long I've known any of you, is going to be him. Because he just has like a very cool, calm demeanor that just makes me feel like, okay, regardless of what happens here, like he understands my plight as a woman. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know how he presented himself or why it presented itself that way. But I think it's doubled down because he's having a lot of threesomes with women.
I know.
And a lot of the guys, if there's a threesome with a dude, they obviously feel comfortable being like, this guy, he respects women. He's not going to talk shit about my girl. He's not going to act like a bitch. He's not going to, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll let my girlfriend put her mouth on his dick and then kiss me.
I don't know. I
next.
think your logic's a little fucked in my opinion. But
Thank
like,
you.
That's fine.
But she's the
here,
exception
like-
to the rule, though.
I think so.
the idea is like, and again, it's not that I'm uncomfortable with either one of you, but there is a certain way that like you can present yourself to people in general, but especially to women. If you cross that, if you transcend that bond with men, you're going to do it even more so with women. And that's why it allows him to get away with what he gets away with.
I mean, to your point, yes, I would like respectfully disagree because it's like I think you have to have the, how do you put it? Like I think you have to have like the want to do that, or the willingness, I guess would be a better word. Like, dude,
Basically,
me,
Sure,
I don't,
but you don't
I
think
don't
you
put
guys have met
myself-
women who have the willingness to do that?
I don't really like. I don't focus on it, dude. And Ray Ray can back me up. Derm can back me up too. I'm so oblivious sometimes, like to situations,
Totally.
awkwardness, all this shit, because like, dude, I'm in my own head half the time. So it's like, what girls are like on the apps are like, I'm really a sweetheart, but I have a resting bitch face. It's like, dude, honestly, like, if I'm like zoning out or like thinking somewhere else, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking not even thinking about this. I'm not thinking about women. I'm not on here thinking like every girl's for the streets or this, that, this. I'm joking around, number one, with that. But number two is like,
You're joking around, but you present yourself that way is what I'm telling you as a woman.
present myself with.
Like, and that way that you're like, oh, because you have a character online, right? If I go onto your Instagram right now and I go through and you're to be like, you want to have a threesome with this guy? I'd be like, no. Because it's like this thing where it's like, I don't think based on the way you present yourself, even if it is a character, you're presenting yourself in a way, joking or not. And I do the same thing with like my comedy and who I am. Like, the way you present yourself is the way that people take you in, regardless of if it's a joke, regardless of it's like just what you're doing for the coffee shop, regardless of it's like who you are, regardless of it's who you are with your family. Like, that's how people will consume you.
You create an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
So
like
you're
that,
talking
and
about
that,
a persona then.
whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, your persona has a lot. Like, I know that a lot of guys are like, you're hard to date because you're a hard ass and you don't like men. And it's like, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
But I know that Lucey Love as a character on stage sometimes comes off that way. And it's like, I can't be mad if a guy's like, I don't want to date you because you act like a bitch. It's like, you're right. I do act like a bitch sometimes.
But
it's
that's just
like,
being real, though.
100%. 100%. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying the way he presents himself is going to, across the board, for men and women, and especially women, allow him to do these things because he creates a safe atmosphere. Not to say that you two don't, because again, I feel safe and comfortable with both of you. We could be hanging out at any point. I wouldn't feel like these guys are gonna rape me, or these guys are gonna.
She just met me.
These guys are gonna
She knew
like.
you guys. I don't know.
Like, I'm not. What I'm saying is, like, I'm not like uncomfortable with either one of you. But it's like, I also wouldn't like, based on the way both of you present you in a shorter amount of time. I've kind of seen on social media and stuff. It's like, yeah, he's presented himself in a way that allows me to be like, he gets
How
it.
do I present myself to you on social media? How do you view me on social media? Because you don't follow my personal page. You follow Caffeine and Green, right?
Yeah, but that's still a presentation of yourself, right?
So like, when you're watching like a video,
You kind of come
or
off like those girls who are like, look at me in my bathing suit, look at me doing this, look at me doing that, because you're like, look at me in my coffee shop, look at me doing this,
Well,
look
they
at me
got
doing
to,
that,
right?
look at me
Like,
doing the skateboard thing.
You're the fucking brand,
Like, right?
like, you
Exactly.
gotta fucking do it.
But then that leads me to be like, this bitch is for the streets. Like, look at this hoe. Like, why would I have a threesome with this hoe? Like, why would I have to? Like, but I'm like, but look at this homie over here. Look at this cute little bitch right here.
I mean,
I might as well hop in bed with this one.
yo, but the thing is like, okay, you say this, but it's like, if I don't do that, my business doesn't grow.
And if those girls don't do that, they don't eat. Who knows? That's all I'm telling you.
But
Like,
see, that's apples and oranges, because on my personal page, dude,
Apples
on my
and oranges?
no,
You
no,
just
no.
said-
No, on my personal page, I do not, like, barely have anything of myself. I'm presenting my friends more than anything else. Like, on my personal page, like,
but I don't. But like you said, I don't follow your
no, but
personal
that's what
page.
I'm saying is like,
Not every girl or not every whatever. You also maybe
I'm-
don't follow the influencer's personal page. You don't know them as a different person. You know them
Oh, I
as
did
they
follow
want
her
you to
page.
know them.
I did follow her
Which
page.
is fine.
But-
One out of how many exist?
But wait. The thing is you're comparing a personal page to a business profile. It's a business
I'm
thing.
comparing a character.
Yeah,
I'm comparing how you present
and
yourself.
that's how I do it, because you have to do it. And like, yeah, but the thing
100%.
is that is how I am, because the thing is like, I feel that like, the one thing quote I always remember to myself is like this Lil Wayne quote. He's like, do you think you're the best? And I was like, I think I'm the best. He's like, everybody should think they're the best in their own craft. He's like, I'm not
100%.
shitting on anybody else, but in how I view myself, nobody's better than me.
100%.
In terms of coffee roasting, I fuck with every coffee roaster in San Diego, in the world. Everybody, if you want to come and talk to me about coffee, fuck yeah. But if you ask me who's better or who's the best, every time I say me.
100%. But what does that have to do with how you present yourself and the way I consume it?
But that's what I'm saying, is like, that's a business profile. There's
Sure.
nothing
and,
on there.
and at any
but
point,
there's nothing
you
on
could
there.
easily do the business profile where you're not the center of it, but
I
you
have to
are.
be.
Right. Oh, because you've chosen to be.
Well, because the thing is
You're
that
running
no.
a coffee shop.
But
It
the
should
thing
be the
is,
coffee,
the
right?
podcast that we're on right now is also how this all grew out of it, and the person who started that was me.
Right. So I
that's how
consume
keep
you,
it.
but you did that how? You did that being yourself, or you did that being this character
Being
that you
myself.
present?
No, I'm being myself.
So
Okay.
check this out,
In the
though,
morning
real quick,
when I'm like, yo,
real
what
quick,
the fuck is
real
up?
quick.
Like, that's how
So-
I say it.
So, listen. There's there's a difference in what she's saying as far as the character or the persona, however you'd like to describe that, right? And the justification behind it, right? The justification doesn't matter in this case, right? Because those on the other side are completely unaware of it, right? So whatever the reason is that you are the way you are, right, in front of Caffeine and Green, doesn't matter in this case. What she's trying to explain to you is how it's being perceived, at least from her perspective.
From my perspective. And
right?
this is just saying, and
I'm for the streets.
Yeah.
and it's not, I'm not even saying you're a bad guy. You're not an entertaining guy. Or like, I'm not even saying like women shouldn't want to date you. But what I am saying is like, if you present yourself a certain way and you are a certain character, it's going to make women feel whatever they're going to feel. And
check this out. For me, right?
But my focus is not about women.
Yeah, no, and not at all. And just so that we're all on the same page.
No.
The fact that
Derm, the one back there.
The fact that she feels most comfortable if she were to hop into bed with any of us is Derm. It doesn't offend me at all.
No, it doesn't offend me either.
So
I'm talking about persona. I've completely shifted off.
I was just going back to when you're like, I don't agree with you because of these, but I'm like, you can't. It doesn't. I'm telling you from a woman's perspective. You can't tell me that you know a woman's perspective better.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is to compare me based on a business profile.
Have you followed me on your personal profile? You know my page, right? You want me to know you on a personal level? You could easily follow, but I don't like. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we don't need to do that.
Right, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to take it there, you would have to have said like, I made the effort to know you on a personal level. No.
But I do. But I see you in person though.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing it all back full circle. It's like on a personal level. Yeah, I fuck with you tough. Like, I think it's sick. Like,
yeah.
I want to do things with you, and I think this is like what we should do professionally. But at the same time, when it's a professional page, it's like everything that's done for Caffeine and Green is literally done just for
on brand.
It's on brand.
Right.
It's for the podcast. It's for the coffee. It's for.
But that's how people will know you, regardless
that's exactly,
of who
that's
you are.
exactly what it is. But people I also wear a fucking grill, so it's like
people
know me for that. But that's like that transcends both. So it's like, yeah, you know what? I might come across that way, but it's like, am I worried about what anybody thinks? Fuck. No.
I'm not even saying you should be worried about anyone thinks, but I am giving you like my reasoning as to like why what I was trying to say and like why I'm comfortable sexually with out of you three. It would be fine. Like this because it's like if you are creating a persona, this is
But check this out. This is a snippet, right? So she knows you the most.
Yeah.
Me and Derm just met her for the first time. For all she knows, she could spend another week hanging out with me, Derm, and you, and everything could change.
Right.
Right.
100%.
So maybe Derm is just no, and quite honestly, maybe Derm is just putting it on in front, or this surface level, right, that she's getting, or that anybody would be getting in this environment right now, is just that. It's a piece to the puzzle, right? So, again,
but that's the thing is, it isn't a persona. He hangs out with me all the time. I'm literally that loud, and I'm literally just always talking.
Right.
Shit.
So
but
then what?
That's not helping your cause, though.
Right. I'm like, so then what is it? Is it a personal?
You're only further pushing her.
No,
point.
but I'm just saying, it's like on like what I do for this is I know I'm very comfortable with people. Like, dude, I'm very off-putting to a lot of people, and it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't even describe you as off-putting, and I'm not trying to make it seem like
that's what I've been told, and I've accepted it, and that's okay with me. So like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, if you don't want to have a threesome with me, fucking cool. I probably don't want to have a threesome with you either, so fuck you.
So and you just proved my point. You just proved my point.
No, it's just like I don't really give a shit.
It's just saying like it is like if I just walked into this coffee shop and all of you were three sitting here and I was like, I need to get some dick and my friend needs some dick, so I'm gonna have a threesome, and I just have a quick conversation with all of you, right?
But in this hypothetical, you don't know what that conversation is like.
No, I don't know what that conversation is like.
You're
right.
And the interactions that
I'm going based off of,
are solely based on the fact that we're here for a podcast,
right?
Based on dating.
Yeah.
Because
I said she's for the streets.
This is like the most bottom of the barrel fucking conversation.
But if she came out with that agenda in her mind,
yeah.
that would be the conversation would be that anyway.
It could have picked up, right? But we're coming here to really share some shit that's gonna be fun and entertaining. I didn't come here to you fucking laughed when I said I like to take walks on the beach, right? That's too much for you. But
The dog.
so
With the dog, yeah.
yeah.
With the dog.
So,
With the dog, bro.
so realistically, yeah. What's the funny shit that's gonna capture people's attention and engagement on a topic like this? Yeah, I've got a fucking pipeline. Yeah, that's the shit that gets people excited and like fucking gasping, like, oh my god, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah.
So really, your interpretation of our interactions today, again, are very surface level. So
100%.
So-
And I agree with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he also said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that in your threesomes, they're typically just out of a whim and the girls kidnap you, right?
Yeah, pretty
And you
much.
guys are like, how does this happen? I'm like, because
No,
he
I didn't
comes
say
off
that.
like a
No,
pretty...
no, I did not say that.
That's not what happened?
I said what parties are you going
Yeah,
to?
right,
I
and we
said
had a
Casey.
conversation
Yeah.
about
I did
like...
not say that because
I'm
I've
just
known
sitting
him
at
the
home.
longest.
But-
I've known him the
Yeah.
longest, and I've literally
But-
been there when shit happens, and I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there like,
But that's also because I don't put myself in situations like this.
Yeah.
Right?
But if it's off
I'm
of-
a one man band, and what I mean by that is I fly solo most of the time, right?
You
Where-
can fly solo.
Where but
you don't
he's
understand.
not flying
You don't
solo.
understand how he flies solo. Like
Dude, I
he
jacked off
fucking
yesterday. What are you talking about?
He's not flying
Ray
solo.
Ray will literally
He's
go
in group
off,
settings.
and then I'll be like, "Yo, where you at?" He's like, "Yo,
He's
I'm
in group
out. I'm
settings.
busy." And it's
Right?
like, "What are you doing?" "Don't worry, I'll be back later." It's like, "Oh, okay." So he's super secretive. Me, I'm just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna like chill, or I'm gonna do this or whatever." And then Derm is just like, "Yeah, I'm out here with this person. I'm out there with this person."
He's in large groups.
So wait,
and
he
these-
makes himself accessible.
No, it's not
he
even
puts
that.
himself
It's
in
like-
environments where there's
I'm
opportunities for
just
like.
out there.
Plus,
the people that
plus the
he's
kind of
rolling
girls
with,
that I hang out with.
Trust me, the KTA mansion.
are
If
not
you would have
gonna
went to
do
the
that.
KTA mansion, Lucy, you would not be like, "Oh, this is because he makes people feel." You got to see the type of people that were at
Hey,
these
but wait,
houses.
real
No,
quick, though.
What happened
Real
was,
quick,
in
though.
contrast, I looked way better because all my friends were fucked.
Yeah,
Dude,
Hey,
and the people
they're
that
all
were
fighting
there,
and all
is
this.
And you
fucked
would
up.
make-
always ended up like
yeah.
that. Like, you're chill. We're gonna go hang out in your room because you're chill and your friends are fighting and like everybody's dying.
Yeah, that's
out
what
there.
I'm saying. The
Like,
people
yeah,
that were
screws
at
in.
these house parties that
Screws
we
in my
were
room.
all at,
they're
dude.
different kind of
So,
people. than I
so
hang out with.
it's
different-
fair to say that he presented himself
I was also
to make
20
people
this was like
comfortable.
15 years ago.
No. He hangs out in
It's
an
not like-
environment where these sorts
I
of
was
opportunities
21.
without
become
talking shit
available.
with people who might
Yeah.
actually listen to this. I don't want to throw them out under the bus like that, but it's like some of these people. There might be some uggos,
Hey,
and they might
these
be
people
some
are
kinda-
for the streets.
They are
Straight up.
They are
But,
legit
hey,
for the
but
streets.
guess what
Like,
though? That doesn't take away because we all know that Derm is one of the most genuine, lighthearted,
That's what I'm
one of my
saying.
best
loving,
friends.
amazing
period.
humans.
But you can pick that up off of him pretty.
Yeah.
And again, it's
What
not
I'm
to
saying
say
is
you guys don't.
That reason alone
No,
is
that's-
not
yeah,
why
no,
it's
no.
going
Okay,
down.
I guess
Sorry.
I'm the only one with a vagina who doesn't know how people with vaginas feel. Sorry,
No,
Derm.
it's
No,
not
sorry.
even that.
Because
It's
we're not talking about
I'm
just
so
vagina.
sorry.
We're not just talking about vaginas. We're
But,
talking about the quality
this
of people.
this all stemmed
Like-
from like me giving my opinion as a woman why he probably gets this, because there was this conversation of like what part, and even though like it could have just
But
been like a
this-
quick like joke or reference, like
Well, you guys battled it out for like 20 minutes.
Not
Yeah.
even 20
So
minutes.
I had
15.
to interject just to fucking stop that bout. Like
Getting pretty spicy.
at the end of the day, like Derm, you're fucking one of the most amazing humans I've
Ever.
met.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
Ever.
Derm, I hope you continue to get lots of pussy and
very much.
threesomes.
Agreed.
And I hope these bitches never get anything in their life.
Well,
I'm
appreciate
just
it.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just
I was
kidding.
funny,
I will.
I was like, don't hold your
I'm
breath.
kidding.
Who has not
kidding.
had sex in a year?
I'm late for a date right now.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm fucking late.
Then fucking leave.
Fuck you. You were supposed to be on the podcast. Yeah, you can go. There's 3 of us.
No, I'm here for the podcast. It's
Tell her to
okay.
come through. I could use some
Yeah,
fucking
tell
backup.
her to come through. So that way
I
we
haven't
can
almost
fucking-
had sex in a year, but that's by choice.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah. I've
It's
heard
like
it.
you don't want to.
a year is a while, but
Yeah.
I mean. It's
But
been
also,
longer
like,
than I
what if
wanted
I-
it to.
Year's
It
a
hasn't been
long
a fucking
time.
year. That's for
Right.
damn
It
sure.
hasn't been a year. It's been like almost a year. It hasn't hit the year mark yet. By the time it hits the year mark, I'll probably just. I just don't like
Do you
having.
take care of yourself?
Yeah.
there you go.
So-
Oh, like masturbation? Oh, yeah, I do
I-
that too. But I
that's what
thought
I
you meant
mean.
like, do you take care of yourself to where people would want to have sex with you?
No,
Like, yeah.
no, that.
No,
is
I was
what-
going more for that
No.
one. like,
No,
yeah, but, like-
masturbation, yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, yeah.
but
I
that
didn't
what I
say
mean is
masturbation,
you do want that, right? But for some reason you're not allowing yourself
It's,
to have
you know,
it.
to be honest, it's not that I do want it. It's just like, if I am going to have sex, I don't need meaningful sex. But it's like, I prefer to have sex with someone who, like, I like.
I was gonna say 'cause
like
it's very different for me. I can't have meaningless sex. I have to be into somebody.
Yeah, no,
100%.
that's the same for me. But it's like, at this point, like, I want to be into someone and be like, oh, like, I can be into someone for a night because I'm like, you're cool now. I like you right now.
I mean, fair.
Fair.
Yeah. I was
And I'm
alright.
like, maybe I should wait more than like a couple nights to see like, oh, do I like you? Like, do I actually like you as a person, or do I just want to have sex with you?
Like, what if I got hit by a bus on the way to work tomorrow? Like, that would suck. I was cool last night.
Yeah.
Last night I could have done this. Now I'm in the hospital.
Yeah.
Wait, who are you going on a date with?
Doesn't matter.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is
what's
it a
his name?
hinge girl?
Is it Skates?
Ew, Skates.
Nobody knows the nicknames that we give, so it's fine. It's not Skates. It's a new one.
What does she look like? I want to know.
Let's see. Let me pull out your profile.
There's no cameras and stuff. Show
Yeah,
them.
there's
I
no
don't-
cameras. Show
You don't have to
us.
show me. You can show them though. Oh, he probably already seen.
I'm not
Sure.
gonna allude.
I
to
want to
I'm not gonna
know.
allude to anything just in case somehow this podcast ends up in someone's ear.
It's not gonna go anywhere.
No, that's
That's
not
not
true.
true. That's so not true.
I know. I just want to know. I'm a curious person.
That's why I didn't talk about my kinks, because I don't like. There's
No.
people in San Diego City Chamber of
You know
Commerce
what?
that listen to
That's
this.
probably not even my kink. That's just shit I've done. You know what I mean? That's just shit I've done. That was cool.
This
That was
almost feels like the whole episode has to be scrapped now. Because
Nah.
you're talking about San Diego Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the fuck? That's
Yeah,
kinda
let's
weird.
go. Let's segue
Yeah,
to
we
that.
can't
Look,
do this whole thing.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
This
fine.
is just like a hangout.
You're
This
gonna-
is a hangout.
You're gonna have to do like friends only post.
Nah,
Never
it's
mind.
fine.
Put it behind a Patreon
It's
wall.
fine. No, it's totally fine. That's why I just didn't say my kinks, but I don't really have any kinks, but it's fine. But I was just
I don't know, my
listening.
kinks are the regular stuff, but I've
Yeah.
done some crazy shit. Is all. Like,
Yeah, you've done a lot of
I've done
crazy
shit that I like wouldn't have done on my own. Like I wouldn't have thought of because like the situations.
I,
you know
I
what I mean?
agree.
But,
There,
like,
there's some stories, but
There's
no
definitely some
kinks.
stories. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
But stories.
I would have never sanctioned like an 8 people thing. You know what I mean? I would have never.
Oh,
tried
I
to
thought
make
you
that-
said 8 people. Like I ate someone.
No,
I
like-
was like, what the fuck?
No,
But
I-
8.
that's the
the
next
number.
episode.
I wouldn't. I
Next
wouldn't
episode.
ever try to sanction like, oh, 8 of us should have sex. You know what I mean? I was.
I've
totally-
been in, crazy house parties when we were younger, and everyone's tripping, and we've got a big ass house, and everyone's running around naked, fucking each other in the same
Yeah.
shower together.
Exactly. I was
swapping-
just-
like I've been there, right?
I was just in the room and you were on the outside of the room or something. That's how.
Dude.
Those were those parties I was going. to. But I was like, I want to go in the room.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm in the room.
I will share one story. There was actually one of my favorite stories was I was like hooking up with this chick and it was in Malibu, and we were. Do you remember Brandon? Did you ever go to
Yeah,
Brandon's
yeah,
house in
yeah.
Malibu?
Brandon Oki, yeah.
Oh, that's what's his last name. Yeah, Brandon Oki. So we went there and he had a mini ramp.
You guys are just naming names now.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
this is a guy. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. He's whatever.
Even a last
dope.
name. They threw a last
right.
name. out
They
there.
did
I
like
know.
a whole. And they said
I
a
know.
couple times.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. He's not
He's
around
the homie.
anymore.
He's dope.
He's not that tight. He's kind of a piece of shit. But
Jesus
anyway,
Christ.
Okay,
no,
go
real
ahead.
talk. He's a piece of shit, and he knows that for life. So either way, but this is a great story.
Into the mic, Connor.
Yeah, so dude, the last
I
time I
wonder
seen
why
him,
no
I
one's comfortable
fucking-
around you.
Dude, the last time I seen him, I punched him in his
kidding.
fucking face. So fuck
Oh
that
wow!
guy.
I'm
Damn.
totally want to have a threesome.
No, I don't give a shit.
I'm just
I-
kidding. I'm kidding.
Anyways,
Damn, I've never been
he
in a
was
fight.
he. I know you haven't. So he came up. I was hooking up with this girl on the mini ramp, and he walks up and he just sees us hooking up, and he literally walks up and he stands there and he's just looking at me. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you have any cigs?" And I was
Fucking
like,
get outta
I
here.
was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he's like, "But she smokes, right?" And I was like, and she literally, while we're hooking up, grabs her cigarettes and just throws them at him. She's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he grabs one and he's like, "Can I grab two?" She's like, "Fuck you!" And she,
Like, you got the
yeah,
whole
and,
fucking
he
pack. Walk away.
And then he walked away. And
I
then
have
he
to be
lit
honest.
it.
I would have done what he did
Dude.
because I think it's hilarious.
That's
Like I
pretty
just stand there
fucking
like,
hilarious.
No, and he wasn't done yet. He fucking stood there and he smoked his cigarette
And watched?
then
he
watched.
was
And I
trolling
just
you
like-
guys
I
for
kind of like
sure.
that. Though. That was-
I'm into it.
Dude, he was such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think I like watching. I probably would have done that. Yeah, voyeurism is fun.
Watching is mad cool. Like 2 girls make out is like super. That's probably my kink. I'm like, oh, this is working perfect. I
Voyeurism?
love
We
it.
used to do that back in high school.
Yeah, watching is fun.
Yeah.
No, like sitting right on the, like they're sitting on the couch and I'm sitting on the couch with them. They start making out. I'm like, I don't even want to be involved right now. Like this is so sick. But then later I'm like, all right, okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right,
I'm
here
at half mass.
We're at about 85%. Here we
So
go.
how
Let's
did you
thing to
get
full
this
sell.
date?
Which one?
The one that you're late for.
The one that you're
There's a,
you're ghosting her.
well, there's
right
a
now.
couple right now that I need to get to.
A couple.
He makes plenty of women feel comfortable.
You make 2. You do 2, like 2 a night. I used
He
to
double
do that.
books himself all the
yeah,
time.
I
2
used
a
to double
night.
book, and it was like, God,
not
it's so
like-
annoying.
Dude, he pulled 3 in one night.
It's not well.
I
That's,
would
it's
never
not like
do
I
this.
planned for that. It's like that's their availability, and I have to schedule them in where I have
But
availability.
just back to back
but
to
to
back.
your point,
No.
he's like, he has his hard cutoff.
That's I was gonna
Yeah.
thank you. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so you do have a hard cutoff.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes if I need to.
have you
But
ever,
at the same time,
have you ever done like I'm having a fun with this girl and I don't think I'm gonna have fun with that girl?
Yeah,
and I was gonna say
Yep.
at the same time I could be like, well, this next girl, I don't know if she's gonna be as
Dude,
good
he'll
as this
shoot me
one.
a text. He's like, I
That's
canceled
so
on.
wild.
We do nicknames, and he's like, I canceled on this, and I was like, you canceled on her? He's like, I can't believe it, but yeah, but I'm having such a good time with this girl. And I was like, all right, fuck it.
I'm in a weird place right now in my life. So like let me tell you, like real quick, because this has not been my style my entire life. I'm 35 years old now, and I've probably dated the most girls I've ever dated in my entire life in the last 4 months. It's been ridiculous.
Is there an end game? Like, is there like
No.
a?
Yeah, the goal is right, or at least I thought it was, but now I don't know.
When's the last
anymore.
time you were in a relationship?
It was
Ooh.
4 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
a 5-year
yeah.
relationship.
It was a big one. But they
So-
broke up, and then they got back together for another year, and the whole time I was like, bro, what the fuck
Why
are you
not
doing?
just
She's my
give
neighbor.
yourself? Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you
Why
say?
was I invited
She's
to
my
this
neighbor.
podcast?
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this feels like this was a for you guys thing.
Oh.
No, because
No.
you're having a dating
What?
thing.
This is just.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a dating series. Yeah, I am gonna
that's
do
why
that.
you're here.
So,
It was the first
That's how you
30
made it
minutes.
cut.
That is
It was the
okay.
first 30
Yeah.
minutes of the segment.
so what? Don't you feel like you should take a break? Like you're trying to jump back into something. You just got out of something for 5 years.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So this is what I mean. This is
These
what I mean
words
by
make sense in my
it's
brain.
it's
I
a very
understand this
confusing time in my life because, that throughout that entire relationship, right? I'm not gonna say all 5 years, but let's say the latter part of that relationship, right? There were just a lot of things that were absent from our relationship and what I would have wanted in a partner. So I feel like it's actually been years that I've gone without.
But you haven't. You've been in a relationship for 5 years. So don't you think you should take some time to not work on yourself necessarily, but like get to know yourself, see what it is that you really like, see
He knows
what you
himself.
really
He
want.
knows himself pretty well.
Yeah, I'll say it one more time. So the latter part of that relationship, right? We may have been in a relationship, but we were going through the motions, right? And
I completely heard you, but
Yeah.
you were still in a relationship.
Was
Like I
I
understand
in a
where it's like you're like, oh, I was doing like going through the motions. You were going through those motions for someone else, which just kind of proves that like you weren't doing it for yourself.
His needs weren't met.
right?
Yeah, your needs 100%.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
what
relationships
I'm
end.
trying
But
to
like,
do is meet those needs, right? Those desires, those experiences that you can have with somebody. And I'll tell you this: initially, like I thought I could jump right back into it, right? And then I found out, really after like a couple months, that it was like, oh, I'm broken, right? So like to your point, right? Like I was like, oh shit, okay, I've been distracting myself, right?
Yeah.
And I've been kind of pushing these feelings away and not necessarily acknowledging them, right? And there is some underlining, pains or sufferings that I need to, heal through. But I'll tell you at the same time, I'm having a good time, and I'm going to continue to
which
do
is
that.
fair, and
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Yeah. So my pursuit is no longer to necessarily like the end game. To your point is yes, I would like to find a partner, right? And I'm a monogamous person, in the sense that I would like to find that one person, and that be like it. Like let's travel the world together. Let's ride that roller coaster, peaks and valleys.
How
right?
realistic is it though if you're just lining up 3 dates a night?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So it's not realistic. The method that I have right now is not sustainable, and it's not going to allow me to actually find that one person. So very
Okay.
true, right? So, and I recognize that.
If you
right?
recognize that and you're understanding, like, hey, I'm going on
Yeah.
dates to fulfill
So-
my dick's needs.
And it's not even about my dick.
Like-
it's not even about fucking, right? It's more about kind of like meeting people and realizing that you can still have those connections.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
That you're still, because right now, and I've kind of explained this to Kano, where right away Kano, like, he understands. He was like, yeah, dude, you're looking for like the one. And I was like, yeah, like I want to find the one. But in recent months, I'm like, Kano, like, I am not looking for the one. Like,
No.
clearly I'm fucked up when it comes to this. Like, I'm broken. That's really the best way I can explain it. So, but I'm going to keep doing this because this is actually what I want right now.
Sure. I
Right?
think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's valid. Now, is this something, are you targeting women who are in the same space? Or are you targeting women who are like, I really would like a relationship, and you just don't care? And you're just sort of like, well, that's not my problem.
It's a mixed bag, right? And
Sure.
and not everybody is that forward, especially right off.
Oh,
the bat,
100%.
Right. So it's more.
But if they are, I feel like it's your accountability to steer clear of
and I
that.
cut them off.
Yeah.
And I do.
He's really good about that.
And I
Okay.
cut them, and
That's
I go,
fair.
I go,
He's
hey, you
very
know
good
what?
about that.
We can't do this.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fair. If that's what you're doing, I think that's like a cool, healthy thing, and have fucking 12 dates a night. But that would be weird if you were just like leading women on and knowing you're not really into
No. It's
Totally.
it's and I give these girls,
women.
these women an opportunity. I give myself an opportunity really by spending more time with them. It's not just a one-off.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
to
he'll
see,
have
like,
ones that like
hey,
they'll be around for a little bit.
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, could this be a thing? Or because, as mentioned earlier, right? It's like you have to give yourself a cooling off period. So like, yeah, we have one awesome night that was fucking sick. Maybe we don't see each other till the following weekend. We text a little bit throughout the week, right? I see you again. I'm like, okay, we're having a great time. And I'll give that, a few weeks. And then really after a few weeks, if I don't actually see us being together long term, then I'm like, all right, this is not it.
So you're like simultaneous looking for like long term, but also having your fun.
Yeah, because I realize that I haven't been finding the one, and I don't really know what that means anymore, right? And I honestly don't know like how to have that kind of relationship anymore. Like I don't know how to be so vulnerable.
Well, how do you live in a city where everybody's doing the same shit? You can't trust nobody. Dude, there was
It's
a girl.
not about
there was a
trusting
girl.
people.
There was a girl the other night. We go have a fucking drink, right? Like we're all chilling, and she was sitting next to me, and like I'm talking to this girl that I've been seeing, and like she was like, oh my god, like yeah, look, I do this, blah blah blah. Shows me her phone, and then as we're sitting there, she shows me her phone, and fucking a Hinge notification comes up, and she's like this. She's like, oh yeah, da, da, da. And I see it, and it's like literally looking at it, and she goes,
The
yeah,
girl
and-
you're talking to?
No.
Oh, okay.
A girl that
The
I've been
other-
hanging
okay,
out
The
with.
girl that he's been hanging out
Right?
with, and she instantly turned it, and I was like, I know Ray doesn't care, but like I'll tell him in the morning. And then so like we're getting ready, and I'm coming to the shop, and I was just like, oh my god, bro, I gotta tell you this. And I tell him, and he's like, yeah, I don't care. But it's like everybody's on that tip. Everybody. Like, dude, when I had an ex-girlfriend,
I don't think that's
like,
unfair, especially the way he presents himself.
No. I'm just, my point is that that's what I'm saying is like, how are you supposed to find the one when we're living in the city, right? We're like right above downtown. Everybody's in the city. You're living in a city where like everybody's doing the same shit. Nobody's committed to nobody nowadays, especially in North Park in San Diego.
Well,
when everybody's doing the same shit. Everybody's on the apps. Everybody's fucking.
But quite
dating
honestly,
multiple people.
this is honestly what I would say. And there's been a few girls now where I know, which is why I cut it off, that they wanted something more. And I already knew that I was like, this isn't going to be something that's long term for me. I can feel it in my gut, right? Like, I've been having fun with you. You're getting attached now. And now that you've shown those colors, it's like been like a light bulb for me to go, oh, you know what? I'm not on the same page. We're not going to do this anymore.
Dude,
You're Matthew McConaughey from Failure to
I don't
Launch.
even think
That's
this
what you-
deep in the world at all.
Well, I mean, to all three of your points,
I
I mean,
would-
to your point, you're right. We live in an area, in cities and like metro areas, it is a lot of, the dating population is different than being like in the countryside and being somewhere
you're
where
in,
it's
like,
like,
La Mesa or
right.
something.
Not
Slower.
even La Mesa, like literally
No.
like outside of San Diego. Like if you're going out into like Nevada, like that's a different dating scene. It's different in like Wyoming. And it
Utah.
has to do with like, yeah, like
New Mexico.
everyone
Proximity.
has different
It's just
cultures and
proximity,
stuff.
yeah.
Proximity,
Yeah.
how close you are to a bunch of people. We're in San Diego, we're half naked all the time because of the weather. Like, there is
That's
a
what
lot
I'm
of that
saying.
play. Yeah,
it's
100%.
hard to do that in this city.
But then I don't think it's impossible. I do think it lends itself to being more difficult, 100%.
For sure.
But I also think, like, to what you're saying, I actually admire and I give you props for the way you're dating and the way you're going about things. Like, I kind of was ready to be like, you suck. But
This
that's
is what he
fair.
said
But-
earlier. He said you could talk to him even longer and like you get a different perspective.
I
of
still
it.
would have a threesome with him, but I'm just saying, like,
It's okay.
there is this idea of what you're saying, and it makes sense. And I do, again, I give you props for that. But are you concerned with, or are you scared that like the way you're sort of positioning yourself is like anyone could fill that need once you decide you like them, and that doesn't necessarily make them the right person either?
Yeah.
Like, is there any buffers you have to say, okay, I do think this is the one. This is how I want to start to date and conduct myself around this person and make sure like that is the person I want to be with or I can see myself with.
So I'm not sure I would consider it a buffer. It's more of, there's like an ideal, right, person.
But you don't need
Right,
to
but
stick to
once that
those.
person who's like, okay, I'm your ideal, and then you're like,
Right.
oh, I think this is it.
Yeah.
How is it? Just that's that, and you're done, or is it like, oh, let me start to elevate the dates. Let me start to, you know,
Like get a second tier.
So actually, and Yes. So the answer to that is yes. And in short, I've had a couple of girls where I did that, right? Where I was like, oh, you know what? Like, this girl's really cool. Like, I think we mesh on a lot of levels. So, you know, I took this girl on a second date. I took her to fucking Mexico, and we stayed out there for the weekend because I just, like, felt the vibe, right? And I was like...
Dude, he sent me a text. Dude, I did a thing.
Yeah. And
I booked a trip to Mexico.
And I turned off the app right away, right?
Deleted it.
I was like, all right, cool. Like, I want to give this a chance.
Yeah.
Because, like, I am feeling this right now. Boom, cut the app off. Don't talk to anybody else but her so that I can focus on...
Did you have that conversation with her to let her know that that's what it was?
To let her know that that's what I had
like,
done?
hey, I'm going to, like, I mean, and not right away. Like, you don't have to cut
Sure.
that off. Tell her. Like, it just being during that trip, being like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, like, I stopped the app because I do see, I
No.
would like to explore this.
That was date number 2. So, no.
Hold on.
That was date number 2, right? So date number
Okay.
1 was really, like, we were vibing super hard, right? We didn't hook up or anything.
I
Date
regret what I said a second ago.
That's okay. The date number 2, well, I guess date number 2, I went and watched her show, and I was like vibing. I was just like, let's fucking go let's go to Mexico. So the reason why Mexico is a thing is because, well, I have a lot of family in Mexico. I travel to Mexico a lot. Like, that's a big part of my life. So, like, whoever I'm with, I want them to be a part of that,
Sure, yeah.
right? So that was kind of my, like, okay, let's go to Mexico. She was down. That was already, like, an awesome green light. We had a great time again. I didn't tell her how I was feeling because for me it was still too new and I was getting really excited. So I needed to cool down, right? Meaning that I needed to just internalize how I was feeling and be able to talk to myself about it. We had a great weekend, spent a week apart, hung out again the next weekend. And then a couple weekends later, I could tell that she was feeling it. And as soon as
we all went to a concert.
Yeah,
That's when
there
it
was
ended.
this. We all went out together, and there was just like we were in this social environment where I was like, you know what? I'm actually like this person is not a reflection of me in the way I would like them to be.
Because of the way she presented herself to your friends,
Because
or
not even to my friends.
It was just me and him. It was
Yeah.
just me and him and like
No,
her
no.
friends and a couple of my friends.
We had
showed
already
up.
hung out in group
Yeah,
settings before,
we're
so
already
it
all
was
good.
just what I realized was that I didn't look at her and admire her in the way that I felt that I should. I didn't feel like proud to be standing next to her, right? And there was some things that had happened which triggered that, and it wasn't like oh fuck that. It was like a very subconscious like switch in my head almost, and I was just like, oh, this isn't what I want actually, right? And then I cut it off that next week.
Yeah.
So I was real with her. I didn't.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I mean, it doesn't really matter what I think, but I don't think you're doing anything wrong. But once you said the second date, you were like, I'm going to go to Mexico. Like, that's like pretty quick.
Ray makes decisions fast.
I don't think that
That feels really
see,
fast.
You keep wanting to put a time frame on things, and that's not really how I view
Well, I'll just say, like, and it's not even a time frame or like a time limit or a time anything. I'm totally with you. If a vibe's right and you're getting along with someone, you should encourage that and you should move with that. And I've had dates that have gone 5, 6, 7 hours until wee mornings.
Sure.
Or whatever. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to play like that's not the case. However, I will say, like, there is a psychological thing and component to that, and spending that much time with someone and starting to feel that comfortable. Like, you're going to naturally do that. And sometimes in order to like really take in, like, do I like this person? Am I feeling them? Is it just like a honeymoon phase and love bombing and this vibe? Like, time lends itself to allow you to date a little more healthy and to like
Sure.
really take that moment in and to really be like, hey, and that's why, like, and I'll be honest, like, yeah, the time limits and whatever, like, it is something for me that has like taught me, like, okay, because again, I'm like a hopeless romantic. I'm so like, ooh, you like me, I like you too. We had sparkles in our eyes. We had coffee. It tasted so good.
Let's go
and
to
then we're gonna
Mexico.
hang out the whole day. Yeah, let's go to Mexico
For real,
next
though.
week.
Yeah.
That really is. And then I started to realize, like, this is. And then you have moments where you're like, I don't like you.
It's like some Britney Spears story.
Yeah, like it starts to
and-
feel
and
like,
you know what? And she's great. She's a great human.
Yeah.
I just realized this is not the girl that
Right.
I want to invest myself in.
and there's no harm in no foul in that. But then it's like you start to like play with the, like, you kind of do have like you put yourself in a cycle and you get your hormones riled up and you get your emotions, and then you start to like it numbs you to like what dating should be and can be.
What dating should be, I think, is subjective. Okay, but I'll tell you this: it's not a healthy cycle, right?
No,
and it's something that I recognize, and that again comes right back to me acknowledging that.
But are you doing anything different dating forward, or you just don't want? You're just like, I'm not going to do
No,
that.
at this point, I've already decided. I'm like, okay, like I don't know that I'm actually like ready to be with somebody long term. So instead,
but
I'm
we're
just
also
going to
having
keep
a
dating.
shitload of fun right now.
Yeah,
like there's
but
a lot of fun that we're doing. So
Right,
it's like
right. So I'm just going to keep dating. Right. I'm going to keep it light. Right. Maybe no more Mexico trips.
Probably that's not.
But probably going to happen though anyway.
Yeah. Do any of you trying to like get married? And do you guys see yourself married? Or what's like your ideal end of like what's your ideal like?
It's not marriage. It's like a partnership, like
marriage.
finding somebody, like finding your best friend that you can just travel with, enjoy life, right? It doesn't mean that everything's going to be fucking rainbows and sunshine, right? I get that.
But you're looking for just a partner.
But I'm looking for, essentially I'm looking for like my other half, right? Boom. This person, maybe we have similar interests, but I can learn from them. They have their own thing going. You know, I can admire and support them in whatever that is, right? Mm-hmm. They can do the same for me. We can have
But it's a monogamous partnership.
But it's a monogamous partnership. I do not need children. I don't even need to get married. Like, honestly, like, I don't need to put a ring on your finger. Like, if
she wanted to get married, are you open to that?
So it's if I feel like I want to put a ring on the finger, I'm open to that.
So you're looking for a monogamous partnership as your ideal.
I'm not going to put a ring on someone's finger because that's what they want, right? Because I don't think that's fair. I honestly don't think that's fair.
You don't see yourself getting married again, Kono?
Hell no.
What is your ideal thing?
Dude, honestly, I'm probably just going to stay single. Like
you like being single?
Dude, I mean, it's not even that I like being it. Like one thing that I realized, like when I got married and they were there, like Derm knew my ex-wife very well. Ray Ray was at my wedding. Like I was like head over heels in love with my ex-wife. Straight up. I left. I did. She fucked up. And I'm not going to say what happened, but like she fucked up. And it was two ways. Like I definitely at the end of it, like I was the worst version of myself. So it's not, It wasn't a one-way street. She did, it was like every cause for whatever, like for every reaction, there's a reaction. Like what she did was fucked. How I reacted to that was fucked.
Yeah.
I didn't even propose to her till 6.5 years into our relationship. And then we didn't even get married again until a month before we got married was our 8-year anniversary. So I was already with this girl for almost 10 years. And I'd known her. We started dating when I was 24, so I met her when I was 19.
Yikes.
So like I've known her for a long time. All the people like that were involved is like, dude, I was like, I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to be a dad. Like I wanted the whole thing. Like I wanted that shit.
But ideally you don't still want that, or just because...
No, I don't want any kids anymore. I don't want to be married. I don't want to do any of that because I don't think that's for me. I've had some other experiences that have happened with another ex that I feel that like it's really not meant for me to have kids.
But would you be happy having kids? Because the ideal means like what would make you happy in your perfect world, regardless of all the experience you've had.
I'm not done yet. That's what I was saying. Is like what I've noticed is that in this time that I've been single and like gotten out of the fucking hell that I was in, Ray Ray was there, Derm was there, and so what I want is to be with my friends. Like and like yeah, I'm 36 years old and maybe that sounds childish, but like I have had more fun and I am more happy in my life right now.
That's fair.
Than I have ever been in the last 15 years that I've lived in San Diego. And why is that? Because me and this fool will do karaoke at Red Wing, fucking singing Nookie. I'll fucking go to Mexico with this fool. And who's there? My boys. And
but what if they get wifed up and they're, not available to you?
Dude, even it's not even if they're not available. It's like, dude, I've been homies with Derm since I was fucking like 20. And it's like he's had girlfriends, and it's like Derm is not the type of dude who's going to be like, nah, these are my homies. Like, we're going to do it. So it's like, in my opinion, even if he had a wife and a kid, guess who's going to be there being best uncle? Me.
Yeah.
I want to be involved in their lives, and that's like, I want my people. So it's like, My people.
So you're focused on single and friendships.
It's not even just being single. I don't even look at it that way. Like when I met my ex-girlfriend, dude, to your like what you were saying about like I don't know, like end game and shit. Like, dude, I've dated multiple women, but when I met my ex-girlfriend, she turned around and all it took for me was to look at her. She turned around and I was like, "You're the one." I came home that night. I was like, "That's gonna be my girlfriend." Like straight up. I was like,
He did.
I just fucking, and that was it. And then like 2 days later, I was like, "Hey, I want to meet you for coffee." And I literally left on a trip to go to like Missouri, and then I was texting her the whole time, and like, I don't know, like I'm pretty shut off to a lot of things, and I don't give a fuck what people think about me. I don't care about how people view me. Like, you don't like me? Fucking, what is it? What does Bad Bunny says? He's like, no te gusta, no te gusta, no quieres que mirar, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't fucking have to look at me then, so fuck off. Like, that's what it is. But when I find a person that I'm like into, like, I'm fucking there. I'm your person. I'm monogamous. I'm fucking, I'll be there for you. You fucking, whatever happened, I'm there. So it's like, I'm dedicated, and like, if I find that, cool. If I don't, that's cool too. Like,
but ideally, would you like to find that?
I don't
like
care.
So you're just you're open to whatever, but you're perfectly fine being single.
I'm super fine being single, and I don't need anybody. Like, I need my people, and that's it.
So ideally, like, as long as you have your friends around you.
As long as I have my people and my friends and coffee, I'm chilling. Like, yo, I'm good. Like, I don't, you know, when I'm with my friends, like, I'm here for all of them. Like, I will be here. I will, like, whatever you need. Like, that's what I do.
Right.
I don't need to do it for everybody. I'm nice to everybody, but like when it comes to like what I need from others is like good times. Like,
yeah. And
chilling.
Derm's always a good time because he's willing to share his pussy.
I mean,
yeah,
sure.
And his dick.
And his dick.
Just in case I wanted it, you know. But it's like that's what it is. It's yeah. I mean, that's so like for me. No, I don't. I'm here. What I've realized for me, what's important to me is like my people, my shop, and then just like how I affect people when I can actually sit and talk with them.
Right.
Because like communication.
You're looking for like connections. Like ultimately, you still would like connections with people. You just don't need it to be like romantic or sexually driven. Not that that's
well, without getting too far into it, is like what's happened to me in the last 4 years has been pretty traumatic, and so it's like I've worked through it, and the way I've worked through it was like, yeah, I mean, even upwards to the beginning of this year, I fucking had some crazy shit happen to me while the shop was opening, or while I was doing the shop, and it was like, we were in Mexico City, I couldn't even fucking walk. It was like, dude, it was super painful. So it's like, dude, at this point, I don't even, as long as I can keep doing fun shit, that's what I want. I want fun shit, and there doesn't need to be
regardless
a woman.
of
It doesn't need to be any of that, and it's like, it's not sexual, it's not nothing. It's like, if I find somebody that can hang and can fucking like roll through like with all of us, fuck yeah. If you can't, that's cool too. I don't need much. I don't have a lot. I don't need a lot. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So for me, it's simple. Like relationships, just like communication. Communication, I would say, is the biggest thing. Whether it's the podcast, whether it's just talking to people, like finding out who you are, truly, like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I need.
And then Derm, what's yours?
It's a little different than the Raul, yours and Kano's.
I didn't say mine.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
We haven't
you
gotten to
didn't-
Lucey
I guess
yet.
you didn't say yours. Let's just kind of go around the circle. I would like it, but again, my experience is like, it's not recent anymore. It's been a couple years now, but I was in an 8-year relationship that ended like in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It ended in a 5-minute conversation.
How long ago?
August 2020.
Okay.
But we were together from when I was 20. I just turned 23 when I met her, up until I was like 32 or 31 or something.
A mutual 5-minute conversation?
Yeah, she got a text message from a 21-year-old kid that she had been banging for like 6 months.
Did she take him to the zoo?
No.
That shit will happen.
No, that's that. Apparently it goes down. Apparently it's not that weird. Yeah, my relationship ended in 5 minutes, and at that time I was working 7 days a week. I worked at a restaurant on the weekends, and I had my job I have now, which is Monday through Friday. So I was working 7 days a week, and she like was working 2 or 3 days a week and had like inheritance and stuff. So
right.
she had a different dynamic. But that was later in our relationship. But that caused friction where I was like, I'm getting to the point, like I'm in my 30s now. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I've been with you. I want to ask you to get married, but you're just out like kind of drinking Bloody Marys every day and like hanging with your
it's a
friends.
different lifestyle, like what
Yeah,
Ryder was
and
saying.
so we just kind of grew apart. We're like, obviously when we're 22, 23, it was great, 24, 25, 26, and by the time we get here, like, she just lost interest. But I was like fully immersed in it, and like, we took a trip, and when COVID started, and she thought I was going to propose to her at Niagara Falls, and I was like, no. I was like, why would I do that? You don't even work. You just...
It was actually
You don't
it
even
was
do
a really
anything.
cool trip. It was a really fucking cool
I was like,
trip,
you're
actually.
not even like...
I don't fuck with girls that don't work.
I'm like, you're barely girlfriend material. Like, you're lucky, like, we've been together for so long. Like, you're cheating on me with a 21-year-old kid and you're 32.
Because
Like,
she's bored.
and, like, you, like, don't do anything. And, like, you're not a person, like, anyone would want to marry. Like, I need you to, like, work and have somebody, like, pushing against what I'm doing. And we kind of, like, push ourselves to the top. Not just, like, you sit in the back seat and I'll work 7 days a week. You know what I
Some
mean?
people do want to marry that, fortunately.
That's not my dynamic.
Yeah,
So,
right.
So in 2020, when that relationship ended, it set me back really far.
Yeah.
And I didn't talk to any girls for a long, long time because I had a lot of growth to do too.
Right.
Last time I was single, iPhones weren't even a thing.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like literally, iPhones were barely a new thing. Instagram didn't even exist. Facebook was like the leading social media platform.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what was going on, and I had a lot of learning to do, and I had a lot of wrongs I wanted to right in my life.
Right.
Before I could even think about dating or even talking to girls or flirting or whatever, and I was just damaged too. Like, I was broken, like Raul was saying. Now that I live alone now. I've been doing my own thing, and I've like righted a lot of my wrongs and got a new truck and like, I don't know, just fix some things like financials and just.
You're at a place where you feel comfortable now.
Yeah, line myself up. I'm like, I'm really comfortable being alone, and like I lost a lot being with somebody, and starting that over and getting to that point is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So like, I'm in no position to say if I want kids or not. Even if I like the idea, like the fantasy of it, like that sounds cool playing catch with my son, but I'm like, I'm at like, what's your favorite color right now?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't fucking
Yeah.
know right now, so I can't even talk about that. So I'm like, no, having kids right now just seems so unrealistic. I don't have anything coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
A different way to use this word, you know what I mean? I don't have anything coming down the pipeline that would like do that, like where I'd be like, oh, maybe this person, like this is a prospect where I'm like, I could maybe do it with this person in the next, like at this rate, like I'll be 40 something before I even get married. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's a whole nother
Which isn't
conversation.
I don't think that's a big deal, but like ideally, do you see yourself or want marriage?
yeah, but I don't have that person like I was saying before, and I
Well,
need to
regardless
find
of
that
if you have it or the trauma that you have, like what your end game and who you're going to, how you see yourself, where you see yourself when it's all said and done. Are
Yeah.
you married? Do you have kids? Are you single? Are you just jacking off with your homies like Kano? Are you what? I'm kidding. I'm
yeah,
kidding.
totally
I
jacking me
totally
off.
get what you're saying. I think it's more, I want the marriage thing, but
Yeah.
like, again, my situation doesn't ask for it. So it's a little bit more closer to Raul's situation, and a little bit of Kano's, you know what I mean? I love having my boys around. I'm a very social person. I'm always with as many people as I could be with. And my job merits me to just talk to everyone
Sure.
all the time. You know what I mean? So I love that. And I love that. That's who I am. I like to just be around people, stay up late, and like hang out with as many people as possible. And so it's like, I don't know, like I like this, and now I'm me, and I'm able to be me, and like I'm really good at being me, as opposed to like looking back, I was like, whoa, I sucked at being me when I was with somebody else. I was super distracted, and like I put so much of myself into my significant other and trying to take care of them, and like ended up getting walked on, you know what I mean? And
And he was
Yeah.
not in a good place, and now he's fucking killing it.
I was always in a bad place.
Killing
Like,
it.
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I had like the last several years of our relationship was just really weird and strange, and I know now why. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right.
I didn't know. I was trying to just be normal, and I didn't know what all the friction was about. But after I learned that, I was like, built that wall and like learned a lot about myself. I'm like, oh, I got this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't have that feeling like kind of like I don't need anybody else. I don't necessarily want anybody else. Like every time that happens, like it doesn't work. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or like it just makes me hurt. It just puts myself
Yeah.
in a position. And then you see your friends that have girlfriends at like these events that I'm talking about. Like
Right.
we're going to video premieres, and they're just like, oh, my girlfriend wants to fucking leave. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm having the best time of my life.
Yeah.
Look at all these chicks here.
Yeah.
Look at all my bros here. We're just like pouring beer on her face. This is so sick. And I'm like gonna drive home from LA at like 5 a.m. and like, who cares? And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is how I want. And like I also want like my significant other to be on board with that, which is also really hard because my lifestyle is like I live life like I'm fucking 18. Like I live like an
Yeah.
18-year-old's lifestyle because of my job. It's crazy. like he said, it's me saying I'm a sales rep for a skate company really undermines like what's really going on in like my interactions. But I want somebody that's like on board with that kind of stuff that can keep up, or like completely has no interest and has no problem with me doing it. You know what I mean? And trusting me, be like, dude, trust me, I'm going to a premiere and everyone knows me. I can't even open a door and everybody, if I do anything with anybody, everyone's going to know. If it's a guy or a girl, I can't do cocaine in a bathroom stall without the whole video premiere knowing. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be all over Instagram. So I'm like,
but you'd like someone who's down with the cause, and it'd be a monogamous thing, and potentially
it's
marriage.
That could just go out and just like be themselves, and like can walk they can just go walk across the bar and go hang out with all the dudes and the chicks and be over there, and everybody's like, yeah, that's Derm's chick, and Derm's over there talking to all these chicks and dudes, and like his chicks over there, they're good, they're like the sickest. And like, everybody should know that. And like, that's what I want, but that's hard to get, almost impossible. You know what I mean? So
I think if you think that way, sure.
And then it's something you have to build on. You can't just like find a person like that. You'd be like, oh, it's weird to be like, we're going out and like you were just talking to all those dudes at the bar, like, oh, those are my bros. You know what I mean? Like you were just talking to all those chicks, like those are my homegirls. I don't know, like that's hard. That's a weird thing to learn with somebody. That's a hump that you do have to get to know someone. Okay, with that with somebody, like I'm cool with that. You gotta like you have to get to know it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, having kids is like a long ways from away, and I'm like, it's like not in my radar right now. So, but I wish it was. I wish I had somebody that was, and then I could do that and do those things. So ideally, yeah. But realistically, no.
Lucey.
Right now.
Well, thanks you guys for sharing with me. I really enjoyed being on the podcast today. I just wanted to put a button to your dating.
No, we're waiting for you now.
What are you?
For me?
Yeah, what's your idea?
You heard all of our shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're dipping now?
Did she just take over as host? What the fuck?
I did. It was getting out of control.
You're not gonna.
Thank you so much for spending the evening with me,
this
boys.
This is Lucey Loves Caffeine and Green
That's
episode.
gonna do it for CNG.
We're gonna end it with yours.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I would have gone first. I don't want to end it with mine.
Oh, we're gonna end it with yours.
Well, no, you're the
to be honest, I don't. Ideally, like when I think about it, and I'm like, how would I be happy? I don't want a boyfriend to have a boyfriend or a husband to have a husband. I'm completely open to both. Well, I would love to have both at the same time, but just kidding. No, I'm completely. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's why she likes Derm. She's like, I'm my guy.
She's like,
it's totally
he
why.
likes it when another guy's involved. That's the one I'm
super
going
into
with.
it.
There you go.
No, actually, I don't. I'm not super into that because of the relationships I have had, I've been cheated on. So it's like, even though I want to be into that, like I would love to be like, oh, let's explore that. If he suggests it or if he gets too into it, I know I'm not gonna be able to handle it, or like it won't be my favorite thing in the whole world. So it's like, why even really go there?
Right.
But who knows? I'm open to it, I guess. Ideally, I would like to have like you were saying, like a lifetime partner or a husband or a boyfriend, a forever boyfriend, or whatever you want to refer to them as. I don't necessarily need to get married, but I really fought for who I am today. Like I really like who I am. I'm really, really like comfortable. Like I'm not where I want to be, but this is the trajectory that I have is just like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right. If you're going to date me or come into the picture, I need you to match me there or add to like my happiness and where I'm at. Like I can't like compromise who I am and how I go about my life, and like and I'm willing to like compromise to some degree. Like I'm not willing to compromise on like my happiness and my lifestyle, but I'm willing to compromise on like, oh, you like going to Hawaii and I like going to Mexico. Let's just fucking go to Hawaii. Like I don't really care about shit where it's like the everyday bullshit. Like that's fine. I'll compromise on that all day because it's like, I love you. I want to do what you want to do. Whatever you're interested in, I'm going to learn about. I'm going to support you. And if I don't want to be there, go fucking do it and come home later. Like I'm not like a stickler with stuff like that. But to all of your points, it does get hard. And a lot of it is just like because of society and the way we see things. And sometimes like the way it even makes us feel, because the way we've been programmed is just like, it doesn't always go that smoothly, even if you intend for it to. And even if you feel that comfortable with that person, it's
marriage
like,
and kids and house, like that whole kit, that's boomer technology, dude.
Well,
fuck
even
that.
Like my whole thing is like I have met men where it's like, I know I could be super happy with that guy. Like I know he supports who I am. He likes who I am. He's totally into whatever I'm doing. But then it's just like, he wants kids. I don't want any more kids. And then it's just like that's that. And I'm not willing to compromise there because it compromises who I am as a person.
Can I say something really quick?
What's up?
I even if I was dating somebody, I would only want to have kids with like a certain type of girl. Like I could totally date somebody and like be fully committed and be like, I don't want to have kids with you, but I totally love you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's great. Or I could just like have a friend and I'd be like, dude, if you need kids, I would totally make kids with you because like our kids would be so
I
sick.
was into that for a long time, but I have a real ethical, like, you're going to bring a kid into, what is this world turning into? Like, there's not much for them to like be born into. Like, I don't have a lot of hope for the future. I already feel really guilty with my 13-year-old. Like, when she asked me like, I'm like, oh, sorry. Like,
you're fucked. Sorry.
You'll inherit a gun and you can kill yourself. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, you know? So that's where it's hard for me to be like, yeah, I'll bring in another human. I would love to like have another kid.
That's another thing too, like bringing in somebody in the world now.
Yeah.
It's like that's the worst.
That's difficult.
That's such a dick move.
It is. It's super selfish.
Like, the world sucks.
But bringing a kid into the world, for me, it's my concern is not the world. It's for me, it's like it seems like I can barely take care of myself. And I know people from the outside looking at me probably think that I'm doing okay, right? At the very least. But man, the thought of having a child, I think, is like the most stressful thing ever.
It can be.
It's.
I think like, and I'm not encouraging anyone to have kids because again, I think it's like a super selfish and like not incredibly moral thing to do at this point. But if you did decide to have kids down the line, there's just this thing that kind of happens where it's like you still might feel like you don't take care of yourself, but with your kid, like you're just more willing to, and in a weird way, it almost helps you cope with like your care for yourself. Mm-hmm. Like with my daughter, I have a real struggle with being a mom, and like it took a long time for me to like be at peace with it, and even some days I still struggle with it. Mm-hmm. But it's like what I have gained or what I have learned is like all the things that like I grew up where I was like, fuck, like I wish this would have been different, or like I wish I would have had this relationship with whoever, you know, mom, dad, aunts, whatever it may have been, or like given these opportunities, you're able to almost like parent your child that way, which in turn allows you to almost like oddly parent yourself. Like you hear about that like inner child thing. It's like you end up doing that, and it's never comfortable, and kids fucking suck, dude, if I'm being like fully honest. But there is like you shouldn't worry about like, am I going to be able to take care of this? Because you just kind of do. Like it's just in our like biology where you're like, oh, just fuck it, whatever. I'll take care of it.
And I've seen that happen. I have a younger sister. She's just a little over a year younger, but she has 2 kids, and she actually just got pregnant again. Yeah. So she has a third on the way, and her oldest is 14. Her youngest is 6. Most amazing kids like I've ever been with. And, you know, from day one, because she had the child very young, right? I think she was like 18. I just watched her and her now husband. I just watched them struggle. Like, dude, I was like barely fucking figuring it out like myself. I probably had like living in a 2-bedroom apartment with like 6 friends, right? Yeah. And they fucking were not succeeding, failing again and again. And it just seemed like, wow, how the fuck can you even do this?
You just take care of the kids.
But to your point, they survived. Yeah. Right? And they continue to succeed in life. Yeah. You know, it's been really hard. Really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah. And I don't recommend it, but it's something where you just figure it out.
Yeah. I think because you said, you know, having a kid is selfish. Is that a comment that you made? Yeah. Right. And I see one side of that, right? But I feel like me not having a child is very selfish, right? Because I don't have to bear that responsibility. I am now only responsible
but you're not
for
also,
myself.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
But you're also not making a human life have to like deal with this reality.
You're saving a life.
Yeah, you're saving essentially. You're saving. I get what you're saying. It's like selfish in the way we've been programmed to believe what selfishness is. But like to me, it's so much more selfish to like be like, I want my own.
Why is
like,
it so selfish to take care of yourself completely? Yeah. Why is that selfish? Like to be that's totally just like self-care, like fully in tune with yourself.
That is like the definition of being selfish. Though,
that's
right?
That's more self-concerned. I feel like.
Yeah. It shouldn't be like a.
It's
negative,
semantics.
It shouldn't have any negative connotations. Yeah. Like you're in tune with yourself.
But I think ideally, like, all of us would like someone to just be our friend and be fucking cool.
Just a teammate. Yeah. And then just a teammate to go play the game with.
Honestly, like, someone the best teammate ever.
Just someone who's playing on your team.
Yeah. And you know what? Don't get me wrong. Like, I love kids. Like, I love being around them. They're super fun. My nephew and niece, Connor already knows. I take them out all the time. We have a fucking blast. But the thought of having my own is just too much.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I just think it's
but that's kind of cool. We all had different ideas of dating and all this stuff, and then we all came to the same conclusion.
Check us out.
Mm-hmm. Tune in to 30 Dates in 30 Days.
There you go.
Anybody want to do their last shout outs?
Dude, for real. All right, guys. Well, we did 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, I was going to say, I swear to God, it was longer than that.
Oh.
No. It's almost 3
Because
hours.
we started at like 7.
Yeah, I'm looking at the time now,
we're a little late. It's
2:45
like
on the dot
7:24
right there.
or something.
No. It wasn't.
But he's got the timer on there.
Yeah,
so.
it's 2:45.
In three-
Literally, it just passed
Well,
the
like,
5
but there's
seconds.
like a big chunks you could probably cut out of that.
No, I'm not
I
cutting
feel like
anything.
it was
Just
pretty
the whole
good.
conversation.
He doesn't
is gonna go.
edit.
feel like it was
I don't
pretty
edit
good.
shit.
He does an intro and then he fucking.
Unless I get
goes
too
Boom,
live.
we're
drunk.
done.
Yeah.
Unless I
So
get
they're
too
gonna
drunk.
hear
Really?
everything. Oh,
I
yeah.
thought I thought when I listened to my episode there was like a couple things, not like bad cut, like it wasn't
No.
anything that I was like, what the fuck, but
No.
I'll get too drunk and start telling industry
The only
secrets.
I've only edited in 100 and I think this is gonna be 60 episodes. I've only edited 2. One of the ones I edited was his because he'd said some shit and I was like, bro,
People.
I'm gonna have to cut all that shit out because and it was like 8 minutes of him saying shit he shouldn't have said and I fucking edited it out.
Everybody's looking at me like, you shouldn't have said that. I was like, I'm super hammered. I'm
Too
sorry.
late now.
We used to get pretty sloppy on the show for sure.
Yeah.
it's gone away from that.
I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, used to get too high, too drunk. It was fine, but
Yeah.
it's fine now. Still get drunk sometimes, but either way. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys, bearing all, and that was super fun. And Lucy, thank you for challenging everybody.
It was good.
I wasn't trying to challenge. I was just wanted.
Damn.
It felt like I didn't want it to
The
just
rest
be like
of us are soft.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
it was great. It was the view from the other side.
Yeah.
Well, I am the only woman,
Yeah,
so
it
there
was
was
great.
a challenge there, and I did
was
want.
good.
There was some at one point where I was like, "You guys are kind of."
Broing
She
down.
I
didn't-
can't.
she
I
didn't
can't be
like
on this
the they're for
podcast
the
ethically.
streets. That's what she didn't. You
say
really
there-
did not
no,
like that.
I just
though.
didn't. Well, because it got
She's
it
like,
got.
"You're saying
There was
they're
a
for the
few
streets?"
times it got weird, but for the streets was the one thing where I was like, this is what I can focus on that kind of takes the umbrella of like some of the things that were said that I'm like, you guys are being a little male
But
centric
hey,
right
but
now.
I did appreciate your insight.
We're just
so
talking.
thank
dude,
you.
all it is
Yeah.
we're just talking shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all it is.
100%.
Just
Which
talking
that's why
shit.
I just talk shit back. That
No,
wasn't.
that's right. No, that's why
It was
I was.
great. I thought it was
I'm just
great.
roasting you. It's fine.
Anyways, if anyone wants to send me a dick pic, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She's not kidding though.
I'm kind of
30
kidding.
days.
No, but
30 dates, guys.
30
She's
days,
accepting
30 dates.
applications.
Not yet.
I'll show you,
But
soon.
go.
Just slide in her DM if you really want to make it. January 2nd, she's starting.
I'm starting. The stuff will go out in like mid-November.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Good luck.
All right.
Winners will be announced mid-December.
Winners.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Dang, what are
Derm, you got one. You got one for sure. She
Got-
feels
Derm, you
comfortable
can
around
have
you.
one.
Have one what?
One date.
But you need
Oh,
to bring a
okay.
lady friend. or a guy
Oh.
friend.
That's her
actually.
job. That's
Or
I've
a
been
guy
watching a
friend.
lot of tran porn.
I don't
I'm
have-
kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm like,
That's
I was like, dude,
episode.
I
it's not
don't
my
think
kink.
so.
It's not my
kidding.
kink.
No comment. All right, guys, thank you so much, and that'll be it. Peace.
Wait.
deuces.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Comedian Lucy Love, Ray, and Derm. I mean, phew, that was an interesting conversation. It was definitely a long one. It didn't seem that long, but it definitely, there were some interesting parts, some rough parts, but great parts. Either way, I'm so glad we did this podcast, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was very interesting, very different from what we normally do, but it was still super fun. So, guys, I just want to say thank you to all of you again for coming through. And guys, I just, lastly to wrap it up, I want to say thank you to everyone around the world who continues to support Caffeine and Green by listening every week, coming in the shop, getting coffee, hanging out, coming and just showing me your beautiful face and giving me a smile and saying what up. And yeah, that's it for me this week, guys. I have some amazing guests coming up soon, and I will see y'all next week. Peace.